give us a second to hop on the thing, check things out, see if we're
going.
See if we're going and everything like that.
Let me go ahead and give me another tab pulled up so I can get the stream pulled up. And then I'm gonna start grabbing my figures. Okay, we're up. We're live.
Oh,
we're up. We're live. We did it.
All right. Oh, hold on just a minute. I got too many cameras going here. Let me.
Okay. Stream is up. Stream looks good.
Boom. Haha. There we go.
We're a little blurry, but that's just because internet. Because we're putting a strain on your internet right now. Next time I'll host because I think I have better internet than you.
Yeah. Well, also I've got 2 cameras and
you got 2 cameras.
A microphone.
I'm
2
streaming you. I'm on a call with you. We're doing so much. So next time we'll host it on my computer. And then it'll take a whole lot of pressure off of yours, and you could just focus on your slides and stuff. It'll be that's our promise for next year. That we'll get it together slightly better. We spent I don't know. We put a decent amount of setup into this, more than we do for our normal streams.
Oh yeah, no man, we're
but not as much as the Titan stream.
You like to head out?
I didn't make a tier list.
I'm gonna check so. All right.
Oh, I need to. Here we go. I need to put it in theater mode so I can see chat. Hey, it's Kyle. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, what's going on, man? As always, appreciate you joining us. So
yeah. Here, why we're doing this? I gotta start getting my bots together for the stream. I think I don't know. We'll figure it out when I get there. I may have swapped something.
Oh yeah. Like I was saying, I had no idea what mine were until literally I was getting stuff together today. So
I'm trying to hide them. I can't let you see them.
Yeah, this year was hard for a reason I'll get into here in a minute. So
it's very hard.
Yeah. Hey Kyle, while Will's getting some stuff together, what was your favorite bot or 2 that you got this year? And hey Lee, nice to see you there as well, man. Our faithful 2 viewers always. So Kyle and Will or Kyle and Lee. I don't know if y'all count because I talk to y'all when we're not on stream too. So.
I post. I talk to them a little bit on like Instagram and stuff, but. Okay, so what else do I need?
Let's see.
Buddy, you gotta help.
Okay, do this. So, you got stuff here, so don't knock stuff down, okay?
My desk is just full of Transformers. There's like no room.
Yeah, mine are mostly behind me in various different configurations. So, and I've got I still might adjust some stuff as we're going, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm if our top 5s blow out to like a top 6, who cares?
Yeah.
It's our list. We can do what we want.
Yeah. Kyle, for the year, what was your top figure that came out this year that you like, and what was your top figure that didn't come out this year? Because that's the way we're doing this breakdown. We're doing a top figures that were released this year, top 5, and then we're doing top 5 that we back collected in the way, which that was a tough one because the figures that I back collected, I only collected because I really liked them, and there are a lot of random things, so that was like a hard decision to make. So,
okay, I think I have just about everything I need, but I might grab 1 or 2 more just for the hell of it.
All right. Vector Prime. Yeah, I really liked the Vector Prime. He was a really good deco. And
I hope we get the other decos.
Oh, we will. They've already confirmed that Vector Prime is just Vector Prime again.
Yeah, but I wonder what because here's Victor Prime, since we're talking about him. Um, he's fantastic, and I love this color scheme. But I wish I want us to do the brown version, and I want us to do the toy version, which is like the classic what he looks like in the show. But this color scheme is beautiful. I think they'll do the brown color scheme for the Age of the Primes one.
Yeah, maybe we'll get another one just because.
Maybe they'll give him a slightly. Maybe there'll be some retool budget and they can like fix his legs or something.
Yeah, it's we try to go for, or they try to go for that 3 mold usage. So yeah, Lee, Swoop. Completely forgot Swoop came out.
Oh yeah, Swoop's over there. Swoop's back there on the shelf.
When I tried to do Dinobots. When I tried to do my picture of everything that was new for this year, I didn't put him in there just because I totally forgot.
He's just there, isn't he? He's like, oh yeah, I've completed the Dinobots. Yeah.
Also,
they kind of did wait.
Never saw Swoop on the shelf. Not once. Not once.
I also haven't seen Swoop on it. I've seen every Dinobot on a shelf except Swoop.
Yep, I haven't seen him. And another one came out this year that I forgot about because he was in my closet in a box was a Sandstorm. I only saw him once, so.
Yeah, I love this pose with the gotta get the Cyberplanet key on show. It's great. So I guess the question is, when do you want to kick off on the news and everything? I guess we're about ready. We're a couple minutes in.
Yeah, just a second. What, Liam?
You have a big swoop on your shelf.
I do have a big swoop on my shelf. I forgot he came out this year. So, we decided to start out with news.
I figured we would. However you want to do that.
All right, let me
get the cam
over here real quick.
Gotta get the camera switched around and all kinds of stuff. We're trying a new stream setup for the first time, and when I tell you that we had to fight for it, we're holding this together with duct tape and chewing gum right now, but we're making it work.
Yeah, we are on a phone call to talk to each other, but we were able to get my microphone to work so Will can hear me on the stream and us to hear Will on the stream so y'all can hear him.
There's no point in explaining it because I know how it works and even I can't explain it. I know how all this But what was I saying? Okay, yeah. So we're like 6 degrees of separation to get this phone call to work. But I will go ahead and throw out a little thing. You're going to want to stick around today. We don't know how long we're going to be streaming for. But at the end of today's stream, I'm going to be rambling about 5 bots and taking 5 shots. Because this is my New Year's celebration. I'm not really doing anything for New Year's, so this is going to be my countdown. And normally I would have like champagne or something, but I think I have. I put a bottle of vodka in the freezer, so I'll go get that here in a bit when it is actually chilled.
All right. So just do a little quick little news. The Blokies were a
big hit this year.
We're kind of a hit this year. I loved them. I kind of went a little.
Okay? You went nuts. I got a couple, but you went a bit overboard. That's not a bad thing. They are fantastic. Also, I don't know if these are in your things, but I'll give a quick shout out to YOLO Park as well. Two non-transforming buildish figures, really just exploding, just taking off this year. Yeah, in the Transformers space.
I didn't get any of the YOLO Park stuff.
I didn't either.
I haven't really seen them, and the bloke is more affordable.
But just a YOLO Park and Bloki's just putting like Super 7 and the Transformers Red Line just to complete shame.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, there's more play value there, and there's more possibility, and even though everything is the same,
accuracy, surprisingly.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Everything on those kits are basically the same, but they change enough the detail that you really get a sense of the character from it. So it's really remarkable little model kits to be all the same thing. But this is the Galaxy. What are this one called? I can't even remember this one now. These are the tiny ones. So these are the ones that only come up.
Oh yeah, they're Mike.
The
you
crotch.
can inhale these.
Yeah, these are the ones that only come up to on the crotch of the regular blowpiece, which that is minuscule. So that's cool. And they just recently had to put a slide in here, but announced Wave 6, which is going to have Insecticons, and we'll get some cone heads,
more Dinobot modes.
So that's pretty rad. So I just wanted to throw that up here because I feel like Blokey's needed a mention this year. So
absolutely.
So we'll pop on to the first one, which is again is a weird little piece of news here, but I got to get on the right screen here. Boom. There we go. This should get us now. Bump a Chicken Prime. I want this thing so bad.
Oh, he looks so ridiculous, and I love him so much.
And I will never be able to get him because I don't know. Maybe some point they'll like. I tried to get on the shop to order him from like Japan, and he's not even available there. I found a link for somewhere else, and he's like $150. I'm like, I'm not paying that for
no. I would do like 50. Like, because he's a Voyager with no trailer. I would do like 50 max because it's exclusive and it's like a weird, like limited run thing.
Yeah.
He's great. He's a great figure. Absolutely adore it. I just will never get our hands on it. It's so stupid. I wish I could get that. And they actually have. There's another Bump of Chicken figure, and it's actually have the figure on my desk. It's the Chase in blue.
Yeah, it's a blue Bumblebee.
It's a blue Bumblebee, but it's this mold. It's the Chase mold.
Yeah.
So what is that? Titan's Return Chase?
Probably.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. One of those.
So that's just a couple things I want to throw in here because I thought they were kind of cool. But I want to throw some meat and potatoes. I guess we'll start out with this guy. This thing's going to be ridiculous because
tell me what this guy is. I don't see. I'm on a delay. Remember?
Do what?
I'm on a delay. What are we looking at? Tell me.
Oh yeah, my bad. I'll announce everything. Yeah, because the thing, I guess I could have shared my.
You said, "Look at this guy," and I was like,
"Yeah,
huh?"
So Galaxy Prime.
Starting with the Commander, just go big. New Commander price point. I like it. It's fine. I know some people don't, but it's fine. He's big. He's a big boy. He's bigger than combined Minosaur and Spirion. So
yeah. Well, I mean, so Titan price point is $149, but he's bigger than Commander, and I feel okay with that just for what we've been getting for Commanders. And I'll get into my spiel on Optimus again later. I know I've kind of touched on that before, but I'll get into him later. So I'm fine with it. He looks
great.
He's going to be decently posable enough too.
Oh yeah. I've seen some leaked. Somebody got to have their hands on it, like at the convention and like do some posing with it. I got to see some stuff on that. He looks great. Tiny Hot Rod is great. I know. I want you to know I absolutely know nothing about this character. I just love that he looks like a Gundam. That's it. I don't need to know anything else about him. He's cool as hell, and he comes with Tiny Hot Rod, and he will be on my shelf. Where? I don't know. I have no room. He can go right.
So he is.
Go right there.
Optimus Prime, reborn from.
Is he Star Convoy? Is that what his name is?
Star Convoy. So he's reborn from Star Saber.
He does look a lot like Star Saber, so that would make sense.
I think I can't. There's a whole lineage of this. So Genrai was reborn into. He was into Leo. That became. That I'm not even going to pretend to anyhow. But he looks interesting.
Sometimes cool toy is just cool toy.
Yeah, we get the 1 millionth use of all the blast effects in this one.
But we do get new blast effects.
Well, and one new blast effect, or maybe that's 2 new blast effects. Is that
go back to the other? I was going to say go back to the other one with all the stuff on it. It will. So yeah, that the big blue piece is new, and I think the explosion like that middle tier ones. I know the tips are the same in that like second one, but I think one of those is new.
Now all these are the same. Those are the ones we've been getting since Omega Supreme.
Is it 5 pieces to make that blast effect? I thought it was only 4. Huh.
Nope,
I don't know.
It's 5.
I got all my blast effects in a box somewhere. Who knows? I gotta get those.
Yeah.
I gotta get those better organized. I like that he comes with both sets of blast effects, like the explosion and like the 2 yellow sets. I like that there are 3 different colors. They didn't cheap out and just give us all the same color blast effects.
Yeah. But yeah, so Star Convoy, he's going to be well, I mean, he's already a pre-order, but
yeah, he's already pre-ordered.
Not...
He's already pre-ordered.
Yeah.
He's I mean, I'm a sucker for an Optimus. What can I say? I think if you are a Transformers fan, you kind of by default are. Like, I know there are probably some people that aren't, but like, if you don't have at least 1 to 10 Optimuses in your collection, what are you doing?
Yeah, I have 16 on the shelf behind me right now. So.
I think I bought like 4 just this year, or more.
All right. So moving on here. All right. Oh, there's his base mode. Bye, buddy. Y'all have fun hiking.
The base mode is whatever, man. I know that's like his thing because he has like the mini hot rod and whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't care.
Yeah, his head.
Will famously does not like base modes, and also it literally just looks like a robot doing the splits.
Yeah, I mean that's all it is. It's weird, which makes me also fear he's going to be really hollow. But I mean, you know.
Oh no, those panels look like they kind of like cut accordion in to kind of fill them out.
Yeah.
I do love that there's a little turntable for the hot rod. We got a play feature on a commander class. That seems like the only time we get play features, weirdly, now.
And I have a thought about play features here in a minute when we get to something else.
I also have some thoughts about play features. We'll talk about later. Let's go!
All right, so, Constructicons.
Now we're dropping to commander class, down. Constructicons is Constructicons. They look... I'll say it. I think they look mid.
I agree.
I think they look just like, okay, here's my thing. If you did not get the Combiner Wars version, I think these are an excellent option. I think these are an excellent... they're the best you're going to get at mainline in 2025 for retail. I think if you want a better one, you could seek out any third-party one, and probably for that, was it going to be like $250 total?
Well, I mean,
it's a commander.
You can get the KO
2 Voyager
for $100 sometimes.
Yeah. I have the Jin Bao. He's down there in the corner, not combined right now, but Jin Bao is great. He's my favorite. Now, granted, that's like a 10+ year old mold, so the Jin Bao ones are dated. They are fantastic, really great quality considering how they are masterpiece scale. When you combine them, they're as big as a Titan. But that's, some people don't want that. Some people want more chunk scale, and I understand that. I'm personally okay with my Constructicons being, like, oversized. But these are, they're tune accurate. For better or for worse, they're really simplified. I don't think they look bad. I'm interested in seeing how they combine, though. I do like their... I like the Menasor. Not everybody likes the skeleton combiners. I'm okay with it, but these... aren't a skeleton combiner technically. It's like it's in between, but I think
it's in between. Yeah,
I think the combined mode is what you're buying these for, because individually I don't think they look great.
No, well, and there it is too. It's like I'm kind of torn between.
I'll wait for the G2 redecos.
Between the investment of these guys, because for what all these guys together are going to cost, you can get a Jin Bao or something, which I think looks better. Or even you can even find like the Toy World Constructor, and he's going to be $200 or $300, which is what this is going to end up almost being. And he's bigger and he looks way better. And all the individual boats. Now he's a pain to deal with, but I don't know, the Combiner Wars one, I've messed with him. The connections on the legs are
Lee and Kyle
mess with.
Lee and Kyle are both in for it. So
yeah.
Like I said, I'm passing on the regulars. I may regret that later. Probably won't. I want the G2 versions. When you give me the yellow and purple, I'll buy it. You give me just something more interesting than these, and I'll absolutely go in on those. If I had known how good the G2 Stunticons were going to be and that they were going to make all of them, I probably would have waited on that, honestly. I would have bought the set like you did.
Yeah. So then in the individuals, I got a couple individuals here. Bone Crusher looks fat and dumpy. I'm not a fan, and I'm not a fan that they gave him ball jointed elbows.
Yeah, that's unexcusable.
I'm not a fan of the painted
that's
inexcusable.
And
I'm not a fan that he's another deluxe with my pet peeve, which can anyone remember what that is?
He's got no wrist swivel.
No wrist swivels. Because Bumblebee has wrist swivels.
Bumblebee has wrist
swivels.
And he's not complex. He's not even that complex. And his hands have to do something else that would excuse him not having wrist swivels.
This is going to be way more complex than that's going to be. So that really bothers me. I know I'm a kind of a purist about that stuff, but
he looks disproportionate, and it really is the ball joints. The ball joints make it look so cheap. It makes it look like if he was a Legends figure, like if he was this size, then it would be fine. It'd be perfectly fine. Exactly. It's like core articulation. It's like it'd be acceptable if it was core class, but it's a deluxe. And I get you got to put the combiner elements, and there's that they talked about like the weight and everything. But if you make it a Voyager, make them all Voyagers. Then I would rather pay $40 more and then be good than if I'm in for a penny, I'm in for a pound. If we're already spending over $200, make it $300 and make it better.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. Like if we're gonna, I'm okay. We're at the age where Titans are $200 a piece. That's just where we're at. If a combiner needs to cost $300 because like the thing about the Titans is they're huge, but they're simple. Every single one is simple.
Oh, they're super simple.
If you want to make a Titan or if you want to make a combiner that's got to be 6 individual robots, it makes sense that it would cost more than these.
Yeah.
Make it $300. Just make it good. I'm tired of the compromise. Like every time they're like, oh, well, it wasn't in the budget. It wasn't in this. It wasn't in this. It wasn't in this. And it's just like, you set that. We are already paying a premium. You release premium finish color, like they premium paint this and exclusive that, and here's Hot Rod, but now he has the Minicon, so pay $50 for it. We're already in the age of everything costs more. Just go for it. Like we have things like Earthspark and things like that for the more simplistic. This is supposed to be Studio Series. Like you're gonna put this up against like one of the figures on my list that I'll talk about later that we both got this year. That's like a Studio Series Movieverse figure, and it's like that. Well, it's not a movie, but you know what I'm talking about. But it's like those are so much more complex and like movie accurate. This is not movie accurate. That's not what he looks like.
Well, and a lot of good points there.
That's my rant.
But it's
But at the same time, if
I
that's
feel,
what you want,
middling and it's I feel that in something we talked about and something that I've figured out while I was putting my list together that I'll get into here in a minute. The first wave of stuff they can go bigger and better on because everything else is going to be like repaints and trickle down.
But if this is where we're starting, that's a bad sign.
These are first waves, and so it's like budget, and we'll get into some more of that stuff in it. So let's bump on. There's that. Scrapper looks good. I like the look of Scrapper, but there again, his wrist ain't turning. It could have been done. I'm not gonna. It could have been done. That's all I'm gonna say. And also, now we're at Voyager price for this guy because he comes with the gun. I'm not buying it, guys. Like, I'm not. I'm not.
I will say his hands
I'm not buying it.
He looks a lot better.
They do because they didn't paint them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his hands are green. So I mean, that silver paint on his legs look good, but you know what? Everything else is green.
Everything else is green, and I know that's what they look like. But like even they've dumbed down the sculpting, but not in a way like not like in an interesting way. Like he's got greebling and stuff, but like none of it's highlighted or outlined in that shade of green. It all just gets washed. My eyes just glaze over at it. Like it's so.
So here's the more recent one when they revealed a Hook and Mixmaster, and I mean, so it concerns me like the way that the arm is going to hinge here, like up here, like what's that gonna?
Yeah, it makes him look like he's got like a weird skinny arm.
Yeah, he's got a weird shoulder connection there. That's going to be a weird thin shoulder connection. I feel.
I know it's like a nice ratchet though, so I'm thinking it'll probably have the tolerance to hold like you want it to. It just looks a little awkward. I will say this is the best look of this. The thing about them all being oversimplified is it makes it work great for the combined mode. It looks great as Devastator.
Yeah, and one thing that he's going to have that Star Convoy's not going to have is he's going to have an opening hand at least. So,
and you know what?
That baffles me. A Titan without an opening hand.
Does Minotaur have opening hands? What's Minotaur?
No, Minotaur.
No, so that's a nice bit of a change.
We'll get to that too here in a minute.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll get to that in a second too.
Yeah, so there he scales the Minotaur and Optimus Studio Series, which they couldn't bother to make his blaster go straight. He's all cockeyed there. So, but on to the next one. So we're going to gloss over this G2 Grimlock.
G2 Grimlock looks good. Comic Wheelie is funny.
And we'll buy him when he's
on
$10. When he's $10 at Ollie's.
He'll go on the shelf with the other G2 Grimlock.
Yeah. Galvatron recolor.
It's the Galvatron we should have got from the start.
Yep, and that's one that, again, when he goes on sale, I'll pick him up.
I'll get him when he goes on sale.
Because I think, honestly, I think he looks good. I think he looks way better than the dark purple version.
I do
which
too.
I never own because I have the toy version. I like the toy version. The toy color's better.
I will say I'm going to swap the cannons though.
Do what?
I'm going to swap the cannons. I like the clear cannon over the opaque cannon.
Yeah.
That's just personal preference, I guess.
And this travesty, Gamer Edition Devastation Prime at a Deluxe.
God, no.
What is this piece of trash?
That's hot garbage. This exists. This figure exists. And therefore, that figure is redundant.
Yeah.
Because this exists.
Yep.
And this was $30. And I know that's a deluxe, but that's hot garbage. Is what that is.
That's not good.
Welcome back, Classics Prime, honestly. He's worse than Classics Prime, and he doesn't even have the spinny arm gimmick.
Yeah, I mean, they hide the wheels at least somehow. Like the wheels are going to fold in. So they're pinned. They're pinned on wheels. I mean, how are you doing this after you just did Studio Prime and after you did Budget Missing Link Prime?
Yeah, which is better. Which is better looking, and I know it's smaller, but like you did that though. That's the thing. They're both looks. You showed that you could do it. So why is this so much worse?
Budget. They're always going to make an Optimus Prime every year because everyone's going to buy an Optimus Prime. Someone's going to buy an Optimus Prime, so they got to have an Optimus Prime on shelf every year. But this one is so terrible. I feel sorry for whoever. This is one of those Bravo class figures. So, also, I'm tired of them doing this half-hand axe. It's crap. Stop doing that.
Yeah. Also, this is the worst one because look how it goes over. Also, it looks like if you look how it connects to his hand, is it cast in red and then painted yellow?
Yes.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that's dumb.
That's a complete waste of the budget and paint. And he doesn't have a gun.
Well, it's
Look
cast
how
in red
ugly
because
it looks on the trailer.
that's the on the sprue.
Yeah,
they had the room to put that to paint it, so it was cheaper for them to manufacture that on the sprue than do it as a cast yellow sprue all individual. That's why they do stuff like that.
They could have just given him this. This already exists.
Yeah.
It's also this has clear plastic windows, and this is cast in a completely different color. And he's got 2 black guns that may or may not be cast in clear plastic and then painted. I'm not entirely sure on that one.
Yeah, so
anyhow. But this has rubber tires.
I don't know.
That's terrible.
I've been meaning to talk about this for a while, but yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. There's not often that I look at a figure and I'm just like I can forgive the Constructicons because they got to do 3 things. This thing, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for it to be this bad.
Yeah. So on to something that I want to own, but I will not because of the price. Missing Link, Cordon, and Sunstreaker.
Gorgeous figures.
These things are fantastic looking.
Like even have the little minifig to go with them in this.
They've got the little diaphragm driver. They look great. But not for that price.
No, not for that price.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's your favorite, then go for it. Absolutely. Yeah. But if Sunstreaker's not your absolute favorite G1 figure, I do appreciate that you can link his legs together to if you wanted him to just look like.
Yeah, you can make him look like the toy.
You can make him just be G1 if you want to. It's funny.
And if you notice, he comes with actually 2 pairs of fists. So he comes with the opening ones for the Missing Link, and then he comes with the old closed ones. Yeah, so those are some fun little additions there. I respect it, but man, the price.
I just can't understand the price. I think the price could be easily $20 cheaper.
Yeah.
Missing. I know. You probably don't have Missing Link and RC in here because she's not up yet, but I'm in for that one.
Yeah.
I hope they do toy colors and then movie colors because how this one we got the Diaclone and the regular.
Yeah.
Since that's a figure that never existed, I'm okay with that one also being the price of this one. These should be cheaper simply because I know you have to re-engineer, but you're not reinventing the wheel. This is not a new design. This is the old design that you're adding articulation to.
Mm-hmm.
So RC I can forgive because you have to make a concept that never existed into a working figure.
Yeah.
So I'm in for both of those. They'll probably be. How much is him? How much is Sunstreaker? He's like 80, right?
They're 90.
90? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm guessing RC is probably also going to be 90, and I want to complain, but at the same time, do I wish it was 60? Yeah. Am I going to get it for 90? Yeah. That's just one of those things. These are these until these become mainline, until these become the Walmart 86 G1 recolors that we've been getting. They're going to be that expensive, because these aren't Hasbro, these are Takara.
And so we've got, I kind of bumped through some stuff pretty quick there. We got new images of the Omega Prime. Looking good. Good to see an update. Good to see he comes with Cerebros, his little headmaster there.
Yes, the box looks mid. I think the front looks good. I think the back looks bad.
Yeah.
But also it's a box, so who cares?
Yeah, I have a box thought too, but I'm still kind of unsure on Ultra Magnus of how good he looks, but I'll never keep him like that. He'll be like this.
He'll be like that. So, and also it's like Magnus is one of those where it's like you're either going to put him in the hand pose, you're going to put him in the truck mode, or you're going to put him in the combined mode. Like his regular robot mode is like that's the lowest tier thing on there. I think that's on the level of like Optimus Prime's base mode.
Yeah.
Because he looks like Ultra Magnus did in the show. Hot garbage. That's it. Like, they can't do anything about it.
All right, so next we've got Red Alert. And
fantastic.
Red Alert, fantastic.
A+. That's what an upgrade should be.
Yeah, this is where some wave 1 budget went to, I think, is for Red Alert. simply because of things like, I mean, his cannon flips out, and so that's super awesome. Like it flips over in truck mode.
He's got his accessories.
He's got 3 accessories.
We're getting two Unicron Trilogy Red Alerts the same year. How weird is that?
Yeah, that's weird.
Just how it works out,
though. So
it was just a straight recolor. So it'll just be a straight recolor of Cannonball. So truck mode looks great. I mean, like I can't even. There's not even anything for to say about it. He's great. What do you want me to say? Like he's like, yes, give it to me now. Inject it into my veins. Paint looks great. He looks great. Like they didn't cheap out on any of the paint apps. Like that whole front grill's beautifully painted.
Yeah, which that's crazy. So this. We're talking about some of the Constructicon stuff, and yes, they've got to combine, and they do. I get all that, but obviously a bunch of Wave 1 budget went into this dude. And
some of the other figures we're about to get into, because
yeah, for sure.
Which is fine. Which is fine. This is the Prime. We're on Age of the Primes. I did see. I did not realize this until today. You probably did. This is only 2 years. Age of the Primes is only going to be 2 years, supposedly.
Oh, okay.
It may bleed over into 3 years, but as of right now, it's only going to be 2. Which means that we are going to get all 13 within 2 years.
Wow.
Which is why we're getting 3 in the first wave. We're kind of like cranking them out. You know what I'm saying?
We're getting 4 in the first wave because technically Star Convoys, they're counting as one of the 13 primes.
So
let's look great. This truck mode looks good. It looks kind of like
I have
Darkwing Duck,
care of the 13 primes. Like the most exposure I personally have to him is the TF1 movie. So I was not, when they announced this, I was like, am I going to care about any of these? And I don't think I'm going to go in for the all 13. But I mean, if a figure's good, it's good,
Yeah.
And this figure's great. This figure's fantastic.
Watch the Prime Wars trilogy, and it'll make you want Solus and Megatronus, if for no other reason. But even without watching that,
without it, those two alone,
these two figures look great. That's the who was, I can't remember the artist now. It's not Marcel. It was the guy who did the titaniums.
I think his name.
Yeah, I'm forgetting his name now, but he's the one who's the Megatronus designs based off of, is the Fallen, and Solus is kind of small compared to Megatronus, but that's also kind of accurate.
A deluxe to a leader too, so
yeah. But sorry, didn't mean to do that yet. But yeah, no, I think Solus looks great. I wish her head was a little more, a little closer to the Prime Wars trilogy look. But I think she looks great. And then their Megatronus too, which I think I have an actual slide of him later. And I'm just noticing this on this guy, like, man, for us to be getting this Megatron mold for the 1 millionth time, dude, look at his feet are new, the legs are new, the chest is new, the shoulders are new, there's 2 new weapons on there, a brand new head sculpt, and he's got opening hands now. He's got opening hands. I didn't notice that until now.
As I say, he's not Megatron, is he? Is he based on the Megatron mold?
Yeah, that's the H-Tank Megatron.
The what?
So I'm pretty sure. And the Requiem Blaster looks good too. I like the way it fits what that looks like in the show. So I think that's a good. These guys are going to be good. I'm actually excited about these. I have them pre-ordered, and I'm kind of like, do I wait for him? But the way distribution has been, I want him. So I think I'm okay getting him for leader price. Not playing a game of chicken.
I think I've told you this. We've talked about this already. That next year I'm just, if I want it, pre-ordering it. I'm not playing this. I don't want to have to check retail. I don't want to go to Walmart and Target 2 or 3 times a week. Go, did I get it yet? No. I'm just gonna pre-order it. I'll pay the $4 in shipping. I'll save the $4 in gas.
Yeah. On to some weird stuff. Sonic.
It looks great. It's a great collab. It's fun. It's first biplane Transformer in like 10 years, 15 years.
I mean,
only the second one ever made.
The only reason I really want it is because of that alt mode. Because I mean, man,
it's so cute. It's
adorable. It cleans up so good. Like
all the yellow hides away. It's so good. Even the
so
Sonic
good.
car is so good. Like they really.
Then Sonic here. I mean,
I wish he had his red shoes, but he has to turn into a blue car, so I get it.
Yeah. Well, that picture's tiny. So whoops. But yeah, I mean the car looks good. Those are two great alt modes. So some interesting stuff that kind of came out of left field. I didn't expect that.
No, I love the accessories. Ring shield, that's hilarious. I'm not even the biggest Sonic fan, but it's a delightful little collab. We're really getting some great collabs next year.
Yeah,
so far.
But again, here when this knocks down in price, I'll probably get it.
Oh, absolutely! If this goes on sale,
day one.
No, it's not a day one. But if you're a Sonic fan, that is a day one. That's an absolute day one. My friend is a huge Sonic fan. They don't collect Transformers. They've seen my collection and everything, and they were like, I want that. I'm getting that. Thank you for showing me. So, which is great. That's what you want from the collabs to bring in new people.
That's why they're there. That's to bring in new people, and then to be like, oh well, some Transformers are cool. So let me see what else. See other brands that are out there, and then let me get that. And then let me get that, and then you just start spiraling down.
And then you end up like this.
All this started because my friend Jackson gave Lyric Ironhide from Siege.
All this started.
And I was like, that's pretty cool. Because I fought the Siege era for a while. I almost bought Soundwave when he was a spaceship because I always liked Soundwave. Just, kind of dipping the toes in to get one. I was like, no, I'm not going to do that because then it's a whole thing. And then he got that. And then it was the 30th anniversary year. And I went to Walmart, and then there was the Cell Shaded Optimus Prime. I'm like,
35th anniversary, yeah.
I'm like, okay, I like that, and it's 30th anniversary, and it's special, and it's Walmart exclusive, so yeah, I'm gonna get that. And then they had Sound Blaster, and I was like, I skipped out on that Soundwave. I really wanted it back in the day, but I was like, all right, so I got that. I got those two, and then I still held off. And then one day I was in Target, and I found Ravage and Laserbeak, and I was like, well, I have a Soundwave, so I need a Ravage and a Laserbeak.
And it just
also, I love the cassettes, and I haven't had any in a while. And then it just started going. Then
I fell off after the second live action movie from collecting Transformers, and then 2020 I'm listening to our favorite podcast, The Weekly Planet. And Meso decides to recommend that he watched a new YouTube video from Hugh Adams on Unicron. And I watched that. And I was like, dang, is that where Transformers are at now?
Mm-hmm.
And the very next day I went after work. I worked at a school. And right down the road, there was a mall, the Books A Million. And I went to there. And they happened to have Hot Rod. And I bought Hot Rod, and I was blown away that because I have Classics Hot Rod. That was my Hot Rod as a kid. I was like, we've come so far. And then so the next day I went and I bought Cup and Blur because they had them. And then I went to Walmart and I bought RC and I bought Alita 1, and it just it just went from there. And I think it's so funny and so fitting that I got back into this because of the podcast and that we both listen to it because you're the only person that I know that listens to that podcast.
Yeah, same here. That's I remember when I don't know if it was when we first met in Target or when you came over to do your first stream. We got.
I think it was the first stream. I think it was the first.
I think it was too. Yeah,
because I think.
I was gonna say for all of you who don't know, Will and I met because it was 2021, I guess.
Yes,
and I was in Target early one morning, and as I always, because I dropped my kids off with their grandparents, and I was heading back. I was like, oh, okay, 2021. Let's Target. I always go there and check stuff, and it's early in the morning, 8:00, and I'm looking at the toy aisle, and there's another dude in there looking at kind of doing the look. If you're a collector, you know the look, and I'm like, what are you looking for, man? So It's like, oh, this, and then we started talking, and then it just kind of, then that led to the menagerie that we have today. So
it shouldn't have worked either, because I was going to a dentist appointment. I've never been to that Target before or since, I don't think. And I was just like, I was on the way to the dentist. I got stuck in traffic. I called them because I had already taken off work and everything. And I was like, I'm stuck in traffic. And they're like, oh, well, your appointment's you're going to miss your appointment. You're going to have to reschedule. And so I was so angry. I was just like, I was annoyed. I'd already taken off work. And so I was just like, I was stuck in traffic. So I was just like, oh, well, I got to turn around anyway. I got off the exit. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll go. There's a Target right here. I'll go in. See, if I don't even remember what I was looking for, like what figure was out that I was looking for, and ran into you, and here we are.
Yeah. All right. So next on the list is no, not that. Oh, here we go. Okay, so
and
I have a lot of thoughts about this.
Kelly and Lee and Kyle, A-Team crossover would be sick.
So moving into the Aerobots. I'm going to kind of flip through these real quick.
I don't think we're going to talk about them individually. I think we can just kind of talk about, as a general.
I'm going to flip through them just so we can get that out there. And
these look better than the construction.
Then I'm going to talk about them. So let me just go back. So Air Raid, Cool Jet, Silverbolt, Battle Station. His is a big Concorde with the battle station attached to the back of it, like he's towing a giant trailer.
It looks ridiculous, but I do appreciate that you doesn't have to.
And then Slingshot, bump it on here, and I like his jet mode too.
I like his jet mode.
Superion.
I like
the skeleton mode there, and we'll get to that. Oh, that was a misclick. Okay, so I'm going to say a lot of things, and then we'll say a lot of things.
Go for it.
I
guess
I have all this pre-ordered. I think I'm going to cancel them all because I don't like it. I've finally become okay within my soul that I don't like this at all, because I'm sorry, but this is crap.
Okay.
Air Raid, like, okay, cool enough bot mode. I get he's a jet. I get he's got to fold up on itself. There's always going to be a backpack. I don't sweat that. He doesn't appear to have a waist swivel, which that bothers me.
Which one?
Because they could make all the cars from Minosaur have a waist swivel. And his transformation is nothing, so I feel they could have done something more to him. Silverbolt.
I can't tell if he has a waist swivel.
If that is the color of Silverbolt, that looks like dog crap.
I will say that is plastic, my one big complaint, is that I do not like the Silverbolt color plastic.
That plastic looks terrible.
It's
he looks good. He looks small. He's the biggest one of them, and he doesn't have a wrist swivel either. And the feet look like crap to me. That battle station is just made up full crap.
It's nothing.
And granted, Minosaur's was nothing as well, but this bothers me more because now him behind it just makes him look like a bigger blob of junk.
And
I like his airplane mode enough. And at least they painted all the windows down the side of the Concorde. And at least he's got a landing gear. And then lastly, Slingshot. What the crap are his arms? That looks like complete dog crap right here. Like, what is this? This thing right here. This is and this is the reason why, like, this isn't like a nitpicking thing even. It's like this objectively doesn't look good because it's just like this weird broken arm thing going on here. And of course he doesn't have a voice, and like I get all that stuff, but this kind of engineering to me,
that's dumb.
That's like 10 years ago. That's stuff they would do 10 years ago. It looks horrible. Like I don't like it. I'm not in for it.
That's like a mini con arm. Like
yeah, it's just it's nothing. It's nothing at all. that bothers me so much. And then they did the same frame, so of course he doesn't have opening hands. Now he may look fine and all, but I don't think I'm in for it. It's that's my hot take, and I'm torn because we don't have any other versions of this guy. So it's like, do I skip this, or do I do something else, or do I even care? But I think I've made it okay with myself that it's okay not to like this, and I don't like it. So
I know we haven't we don't really talk like a lot of third party news because it would take way too long.
Yes.
What is it? But currently Magic Square is doing their oversized Bruticus. Which looks amazing. And I think I'm gonna go in on it because we're gonna get Bruticus. We already know. That's a leak. It's for talking about that later. Whatever. But like, you know what I mean?
If it's gonna be this,
I'd rather have, like we talked about with the Jin bout, third party. I will once again. If you want to go mainline, if you, I'm gonna get this. I get this pre-ordered already, because I don't think there's a good third-party version of this either, personally, and they haven't even been that many. There's like 4 I can think of, and I don't like any of them. Most of them are either Masterpiece or Legends scale, which I don't collect. I agree 100% with the plastic. I don't like those colors. I am kind of tempted to wait and do the G2 colors on this thing too, because I think the G2 colors for the area bots look fantastic. I think I've kind of realized I'm just kind of a sucker for the G2 like vibrant colors, but like I don't understand why they chose that color gray. I don't care if it's accurate. It is like if you go look at the was it Sunbow or whatever model, it's like, yeah, that's his color, but it's a bad color. It looks bad as a toy. So make him the toy colors.
Yeah, it's
this is because this is mainline. This isn't Studio Series. He's not beholden to being the correct color. But people would complain if he wasn't. I know.
Yeah, and I think that let me see, I had a thought that
I think as a silhouette, he looks great. I don't mind as a combine. Like with I think with both combiners that we're getting this year, the focus truly is on the combine mode. More so than it was with Minosaur. I think the individual bots of Minosaur are all great on their own. I think they're all B+ figures. I think Mode Master is fantastic, but these all look like a slight step down, which is annoying. And that could just be the budget, because we are getting the 13 primes, and they're all getting new figures with the exception of Vector Prime. So,
then release these over the span of 4 years instead of 2 in 1 year.
Exactly.
I don't buy that. I don't get it.
But that's the thing too, is like we talked about. It's like they complain about. We have to do retools and recolors and this because budget and this and that and the other. We're paying premium. You keep going up in price. Everything's expensive. Blah blah blah. If we're gonna do it, go for it. If we're gonna do combiners again, I'd rather them all be Voyagers and Leaders and Commanders, and then be good than have to buy a bunch of deluxes that are compromised to hell. And I know that's like a well, it's too expensive and that's unobtainable. But then I don't like. There's not a. Either the figure's gonna be bad or it's gonna be too expensive. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like there's not a.
It kind of plays into a thought I've had about Hasbro as a company. And they laid off more people. They just rehired John Warden, and then fired him like
immediately,
a month and a half later. If you watch their announcements, they're not making a big deal of them anymore. It's these random pop-up streams that are just happening on like weird weekends. Just random, it just happens.
Yeah, it's like here's a TikTok, and it's like, and that's fine for like occasionally, but like to do like a TikTok of like of like big announcements, like
like the Constructicon. I mean, yeah, it's just, and even the stream that Mark did revealing everything, it was real, just like
it was
in
so
studio shot, like gone,
so scripted.
So I say all that to say, yeah, I say all that to say that this is only a 2-year capsule. I think that this doesn't nothing to go on, but I think that Evan and Mark have been spearheading this for a long time, because all this stuff has been in the pipeline. Because all this stuff is 2 or 3 years before.
They've been working on this for a minute.
I think that this is their swan song. These guys are stuff that they love, that they're trying to get out. And I think after the next 2 years, Hasbro is going to massively restructure. And
we're going to go back to something bad.
Other companies may start making transforming figures. That's a big speculation, but I don't know. I just don't.
Well, I mean, third party exists, and as long as third party exists, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Hasbro is a mainline. Things have been declining. They flooded the market with too many Transformers 1 crap figures for no reason. And I think they've kind of... because the Transformers 1 underperformed, blah, 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 blah. I'm wondering how merch did for it. The regular figures, probably kind of okay, but all like that axillary stuff, like the little battlers and all this junk, no one bought any of them. I mean, they're still just hanging out.
And I will say this to a point of like, they need to, and I think they kind of are getting it. They're dragging their feet real hard, but they're starting to get it. And it's something that Marvel and Star Wars have realized. And the thing about it is like, because we do this a lot, because we talk about Transformers a lot, it's easy to forget how big of a brand Hasbro is, and that the fact that they do Star Wars and Marvel Legends, and that all those are insignificant compared to like Magic the Gathering cards and everything else. So it's like they can afford to pump out so much garbage, like all these other companies do. They can pump out so much garbage, and it doesn't matter. Well, but they need to refocus the main line to realize what Star Wars and all these other ones realized again is that most children don't buy toys anymore. Yeah, adults buy toys. Collectors buy toys. These are collectors' toys. There's a reason we're doing no child knows what the aerial bots are. No 8-year-olds out there like, oh, my favorite Transformer is the aerial bots, because they don't watch G1. They watch whatever's on Earthspark or any Prime or anything else, or the movie, or any like bot shots, or like those little webtoons and whatever, you know. Yeah, like that's their exposure to this. The live action movies getting played on TV, you know.
I think they have too many lines going, and like you said, they need to refocus. And Hasbro, they're playing the game of licensing stuff from Marvel and Star Wars, because those are big names, because they want that piece of the pie. They want to be the ones to be making that money. But the fact of the matter is that most of those shows are not performing well. The ones that do, like you said, the kids that are watching it don't really care about buying the action figures. And the adults that are watching it are actually, like Mandalorian, a bunch of normies watched Mandalorian because it was, a good show. It was the hot thing. But after that, stuff started trickling down, but they're locked into whatever with Disney. And so if they want to be a company that produces stuff for Disney, and Disney wants to like pay them to do it and like fund it out, and they can have some kind of like collaboration going on, cool. But I mean,
they need
aren't there anymore. Like this is their brand. They need to focus on their brands and not all these other things.
Well, but that's the thing. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, if they're gonna do whatever makes them money, Yeah. And so if Transformers is not making the money, it's gonna end up like Power Rangers. It's gonna be where it gets put on the shelf, and then but the thing is, Transformers has been around for 40 years, and I don't think it'll go anywhere. And we've had bad toy lines in the past, and this thing's almost crashed and burned several times. But I don't think it's that monolith of it's too big to fail, and it really is, because people have this nostalgic for it, and as long as people have nostalgic for something, it doesn't matter. It's going to stick around. Things that people don't even remember get reboots all the time in like movies and TV and stuff like that. There's an Equalizer TV show. Did anybody ask for that? No, but it makes money. So like Transformers aren't going to go away. But like you said, once Evan and Mark and them leave, there might be a time where we might get like 3 or 4 years or like a toy line or two that are just hot garbage. I would not be surprised if we're heading to that, and then we might get restructured.
Well, so that happened in the '90s with G2, and they started trying to do too many gimmicks that was with other things. And then also in the '90s you had Turtles that hit, and that kind of put a nail in the coffin. And then Power Rangers came about, and that really smashed things down. Right, that really took them down a peg. And we had a couple years where it was kind of refocusing, and then Beast Wars happened. And people were unsure about Beast Wars, but then Beast Wars ended up being the kickoff of kind of the new generation of stuff until the movies happened. So Beast Wars, I think.
So what I'm hearing is we're gonna get Beast Wars, and then we're gonna get a new Unicron trilogy. Hell yeah, brother, let's go.
I don't know if they'll retread this. I don't know if they'll retread the same ground, but it's more the point of they refocused everything, and what happened was corporate got out of the way and just let people be creative and do stuff and let things be kind of wild. And now it's like they're doing the very safest thing they can, but it's not working the way they want it to, and also there's no media. There needs to be some kind of ongoing. There's one thing.
There's one thing that they can rely on right now.
Void Rivals,
and the comic and the Image Comics. Image Comics, a couple years ago would not have been a big deal, but since The Walking Dead and Invincible and The Boys, they are in a people go to Image Comics for what's new and what's fresh. And Void Rivals and the Transformers series are two of the best-selling series this year. They've both got 10 prints of issue 1. That's not no one does that. You don't get 10 prints of a comic. Yeah. You get 2, 3 max. You don't get 10. And so if they can take that, and we're getting a Jetfire, if they can lean into that, or if they can do better than that, take that and turn it into something. Turn it into a show, a movie, something that you can capitalize on. Give me an Amazon Prime show that's the Void Rivals. Because even if it's not Transformers, Void Rivals would be perfect, because it's in the Transformers universe, but it's not like that. That's not the focus. But like you have Quintessons, and like you could have Transformers show up, and like it would be perfect. Because a lot of the issues people have with, like, say, the live action movies is it focuses too much on the humans, and humans are boring. And so why not do Void Rivals where the main focus is 2 aliens?
Yeah.
And then have, but that's, we're getting a little on the, we're getting a little off the rails. So let's go back to the figures.
What we've gotten from this is that Will is okay with the aerial bots. He's going to get them, and I'm going to go cancel all of my pre-orders because I hate these things. And I allowed myself to feel that as a feeling. I had some therapeutic talks with myself and allowed myself to feel feelings that was okay to feel. So
and I canceled Debbie, and so between the two of us, we will still both have these figures, and we can review them.
I'm not sure that I'm still fully in on Debbie. I may.
There we go.
I don't have to do it. So
that's where we're at.
Will and I have both changed the way that we think about collecting.
I think it's healthier now. I think it's a healthier.
All right, so on to this thing. I mean, I'm glad that people are getting a chance to get. I'm sorry, Trypticon.
Oh yeah. I'm getting it. I'm sorry. I thought about it.
I'm glad that,
week.
Glad that folks are getting another chance to get Trypticon if you don't have him, because he's great. And it seems like I keep saying like I have thoughts on stuff. I do have extra thoughts on this too when we get onto our top figures. I personally like him in the desaturated colors better, at least from looking at images. I think the teal and the purple is a little too out there, and I love teal and black. Like Nemesis Prime is my freaking boy, but I think it's like a little bit too saturated for me personally. But I'm glad we're getting another chance, and I'm okay with it because I didn't pay too much more for my Trypticon. Unlike my Omega Supreme, I paid like $100 more than the new release is costing, so it kind of aggravates me.
That's why he's in the center of yours. That's why he's got a
yeah. But yeah, I think this is good for people. It's a great figure. Like I just watched the Primal Wars trilogy the other day, and I really enjoyed that. I'd encourage you to go watch that, the Machinima thing. I thought it was pretty interesting and added some very interesting lore to the show. I really liked Megatron in that show, and I liked Optimus in the show. It was good, and so yeah, I like that. And I'll let Will say what he thinks about this, and then I'm going to go into what I think about releases for Titans.
Mm-hmm. I think this is great. I'm getting it. I would have been fine if they did a straight up re-release like they did with Fort Max, because that's how I got my Fort Max up here. I think this is kind of like a Scorponok, Black Zarek. Well, no, it's more like Guardian Robot situation. This is like, I'm fine with this because, like, when did Trypticon come out? Like 2016?
16, 17, I think.
So, like, we're almost like 10 years on. Like, so, like, this isn't like I don't think this is like a Netflix Soundwave to Legacy Soundwave kind of situation here, where that was a weird exclusive figure. Like, I know that like Trypticon at the time, like I've seen people talk about getting him at like Ollie's for like $60.
Dude,
so it's like
some went down to $12.
So now that it's 10 years on and it is expensive and people are like, hey, I really like that figure, I'd like to have it again, for them to go, hey, we fixed some things like the legs and here's some slightly different deco and he doesn't have stickers. Sure, absolutely, give it to me. I think he's more expensive now, but also inflation and blah, blah, blah. But also he's an old mold that's just a redeco, blah, blah, blah. You could argue it all kinds of different ways. He looks good. I like him. I kind of wish he was I don't know what the other thing, I forget his name. He's got a horn instead of, and he's got like splotches. Gigatron. I think they should have just made him Gigatron, but also I'm sure somebody will make repro labels and an upgrade kit to turn him into Gigatron anyway. Yeah. Also, they might just make Gigatron in like a year anyway, so who cares? Yeah. Like, the thing is, you can make that happen if you want it to happen, or you can wait and they might do it, so who knows?
So, and I think Will's in on him, and I'm not yet, but
you already have that one, so like,
yeah.
But that's the thing, is like it's options are good, like what's his name says.
But this box looks really good, so I really like this box. So I made this buy to have him in the box.
That's fun.
Because I keep all of my boxes because I'm a maniac.
Artwork it's beautiful. It's the best looking of these boxes.
Yeah, it looks great. Like, I mean, yeah. So, I think I've got some more.
We're cranking through. We're like an hour in, and we're almost through all the releases, and there's a lot of releases.
Oh yeah. So is this the last? Okay, no. This is pretty much the last one getting in. So Wasp, yeah, I'm good with him. I got him pre-ordered. Maybe I'll play clearance chicken with him because I feel that he will hang around.
Yeah,
it depends on how much stock of the previous stuff they have. Mm-hmm. So it's like there's a whole stocking and finance thing going on here. But I think this is a have to get because Will said he watched our stream from last year when we got Bumblebee preemptively, and we were singing his praises. And honestly, I hadn't touched him since that, and I got him out the other day, and I was like, you know what, Bumblebee's really good, and I forgot how really good he was. And Wasp, I mean, finally we get Wasp. It's great. And he's a deluxe.
Yeah.
And he's this big. and he has wrist rotations.
Yeah, that's the thing. People are like, he's so tiny and he's a deluxe. This figure is amazing when people aren't complaining in your ear that he's too small, because he's great. I don't care. Like, he's also in scale. Like, it's not like he's tiny just to be tiny. Like, he's tiny and complex, and just really good. And like, even like the underside, like there's no like robot kibble. Like,
there's not a face underneath it. I mean, it
there's
folds
no
up.
face. Like, yeah, that's
compacts.
his feet, but like it just looks like the underside of a car for the most part.
Well,
absolutely getting that.
The feet are like there's molding on the bottom of the feet too. That
it's filled in. There's no
like
hollow.
It would look like the under part of a car. I mean, it's even down to small things like that. This was a great figure. I mean, straight up, this is like great.
Yeah, getting him 100%. I'm currently watching animated. I'm halfway through the first season, really enjoying it. It's my first time watching it in order, because I grew up, it was on TV, so I would catch like a random episode, but never like sat down, watched the story through kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really enjoying that. I'm just late to the party. Animated's great.
Yeah, if you haven't watched animated, gotta watch animated. Great show. Freaking great.
It's surprisingly a little darker than I remember it being. They let some people die every now and again. They maybe don't show it and more imply it, but I respect it. It's a kid show. It's supposed to be kiddie, but also like there's some stakes every now and again, and I appreciate that. It doesn't, because with like something like a kid show, it can kind of feel like, especially like a show like Transformers, where like people are like, it's two warring races. It's like no one dies. It's like, then what are we really doing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just He-Man then. It's just Skeletor, what are you doing today? Megatron.
Yeah, it's just Monster of the Week with no consequences, yeah. But there are definitely consequences happen to people and characters develop. And it's got great character development.
No core class for next year. Rest in peace. RIP core class. We will miss you.
Oh yeah, and I wonder if they will do something to fill that small price point.
I hope we go back to maybe we'll. I know Micromasters didn't do good, but I think if they did mini cons, I think we're ready. I think the fandom is ready. Give us mini cons. Give us 2 packs of mini cons.
I think it's ready too.
Give me so classic mini cons are 3, right, to a pack for the most part. That's kind of how they were. Like Armada and Cybertron, they were 3 packs. Give us 3 packs. Make them $20. Make it a deluxe. Yeah. Make it a deluxe. Because when I'm collecting all the Cybertron, so I made that big list. Originally, the 3 packs of Minicons were sold at Scout prices, which would have been core class price, kind of, technically.
$10.
So like $10. So with inflation, it's been 20 years. Make them $20. Make them good. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can make 3 at $20 and they're as good as Jolt, I'll happily buy as many as they make.
Yeah, I can see that 3 at 20.
Because I think if you did 2, you could do like 2 at 15. 3 at 20 would be ideal. 2 at 15 might feel a little too. But if they're good, they're good. Like, that's the thing. Like, because like Jolt, like if you could have put Jolt in core class, he's as good as some of the other core class figures. Like, he's as good as
better than some.
Exactly. So it's like I would almost be okay if they did core class, but I think it would go down, like it would swallow easier if you put them like 2 to a pack or something.
Yeah. There's Wasp. I mean, I got him, and then some better images of Megatronus, and I think I have him in. So yeah.
Also, some people are already getting Megatronus, so that first wave should be shipping very, very soon. That's how it always goes. They're always like, "Oh, February, March," and then it ends up being like middle of January.
Yeah. So I mean, he's maybe a massive retool of that H tank, but yeah, I mean, I'm fairly certain that is the Megatron engineering there.
See, I thought this was a completely new mold. But I mean, well, it could be that thing of like Cybertron Starscream, where it's like he's a completely new mold, but he still uses engineering quote from Earthrise and the other one. So it's like he's probably that. He's probably is a whole new mold, but he probably does use the same kind of conversion steps and things, which is fine. Like I don't think that's a problem.
No, and forgot one. Primal Prime. Man, this thing's boring. It's real boring.
So in prep for today, I watched Prime versus Prime talk about all these, which I know people have their thoughts on him, but I like his reviews. I think he does a good job reviewing. Say what you will about how he receives some figures, but he makes good videos. He made a good point that while it does look incredibly boring, he looks like he's going to be this year's like Tarn, like articulation wise. Because like look how he's holding that sword.
Yeah, his arms are long enough to reach across his body.
Like he looks like to do the sword pose, he's got a butterfly joint, I think. I think if you look in that, he's like shoulders are forward a little bit. So maybe. Which would make sense, like because if like he doesn't have to turn into anything complicated. So like you can kind of go all out on making like he's got a waist swivel and I like the hip skirts and like you said, he's just kind of boring, but also as a character, from what I understand, he's kind of boring. Like, he's just kind of like the dad. So it's like, he's gonna be just boring white. I think if you throw some toy hacks on him, he'll look great. Or if you wait, they'll probably retool him into something. And
you know, there's the thing. Like, we have 3 primes here, and granted, if this Megatronus is a, you know, spiritual successor to the H-Tank Megatron, and not completely new, but you know, still pretty new. Like, these are 3 new molds,
3 new molds,
and Red Alert
of characters that have never been made.
Yeah, so that's kind of like.
Also, all new flame effects on that Megatronus look fantastic.
Yeah. So
I like I like all 3 alt modes. Which is good because sometimes like Cybertron alt modes can go a couple of ways, you know, like you're like, oh yeah, it's a vehicle, but then sometimes they just kind of turn into shapes. And so I at least appreciate that. Like he turns into a tank. She turns into a truck. He turns into like a weird van,
a rover or something.
Yeah. Like it fits. Like it kind of looks like a NASA space rover, which like, it kind of feels very clean and scholarly. You know what I'm saying? Like it's utilitarian and not like he's not like stylized or anything. He's not like got hot rod flames or something.
Yeah. So and the last thing I wanted to do is this cover I saw the other day is amazing. This cover for number 18 of the Transformers, the Daniel Warren Johnson Transformers book.
Is this the one with all the toys and stuff in it?
It should pop up on
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I mean, so I don't know if y'all know who Warren Ellis was or is or still, but there's a series called Transmetropolitan, and then there was like Preacher and Black Summer. Very reminiscent of this, but I think those were illustrated by Juan Jose Wright, and he didn't illustrate this. But I saw this, I was like, man, I wonder if this is the same cat who illustrated those books. But this is pretty crazy looking. I just wanted to throw this in there because I thought it was pretty cool. So hadn't looked at the chat in a minute. So we got 4 people here. So I'm not sure who all still on stream, but TF fans. So you said you hate how the legs and the aerobots from the back instead of the front. Yeah, and I don't like the way it doesn't fill out. I don't think near as good as Minosaur did. I don't feel that the things push through correctly and fill out as good as Minosaur did up there. And then you see they need to take a break from Studio Series 86, or they need to take a break from 86 and focus on figures for Bayverse and Studio Series. I'm sure there's a lot of Bayverse figures that don't have releases yet.
They're not going to do skits about Flat Big Sad.
Yeah, I don't keep track of a lot of those.
There is a lot that need them.
I did buy a few Bayverse figures this year.
We did too. That's so weird for us.
Yeah,
we might come up later.
I'll show those off. It's like taking. I think they don't need to have 3 lines going at one time, because if you look at Studio Series, or three kind of like segments, because you have Studio Series 86, then you have your main line, and then you have more of like the regular Studio Series, the Bayverse stuff.
And now you have the Gamer Edition stuff.
Well, and then the Gamer Edition, and then you had your shows you had on TV. So then you had your Earth Sparks, and then you had your I think that's too many segments going at one time.
How long?
I think that's too many things going, and it's not only is it like collector fatigue, but it's just like then like you don't really have a person that kind of like the new people don't really key in on one thing, and they may buy one thing, and then I don't know. It just doesn't. It doesn't seem to work that well to me.
Oh, I had a quick question because you talked about this comic. Is Black Summer the comic? Is that a zombie comic? Is that based on like? Because there's a show called Black Summer that I'm watching.
No, it's about a set of a team of super soldiers, and they all have like a different augmentation, and one of them like starts. This won't spoil anything. Like at the first of it, he like kills the president, and there's a whole reason behind it. But it goes into so they're all like they call they have like gun augmentations. Their guns are called different things. So one actually has a gun, and another one has another gun, and one of them has like these eyeballs that float around him, and so it's very gory, very bloody. Good book though.
Well, if you want a good show on the same day, Black Summer, it's on Netflix. It's an Australian show, I believe. Mm-hmm. And it is set in the US. It's a zombie show where you kind of like jump from all these different perspectives. They're like Resident Evil zombies. They're like run, scream, you instantly become zombies.
Mm-hmm.
And like things happen so fast and so realistic, and like the none of the characters have like names. Like very rarely do you learn anybody's name, because like it's just like nobody trusts anybody. You'll follow somebody, and like you'll see like something in the background, like somebody will get like hit by a zombie and like tackled, mm-hmm. and then like you'll leave the person you're with and go follow that person. And it's really crazy because like there's all these like it's like 4 or 5 different like sets of people, and they'll like cross paths like momentarily. And like then you'll continue to follow them. Like sometimes like groups will mix and things like that, but like it's really impressive because like for a show that like it's literally just like nonstop like suspense, because there's no like real downtime for these characters, because it's just they live in hell basically.
I'm gonna rest real quick, and we're gonna get on to our next segment in just a second.
All right, sweet. I'm gonna talk about the comics then for a minute, because I caught up recently on the Transformers comic. I got I've been buying these the paperbacks. I got the Void Rivals ones here. The Transformer ones are on my desk at work actually. So if you guys aren't reading the Void Rivals or the Transformers series, highly recommend both. See, these are the back of the Void Rivals, and you can actually see they're really nice. I recommend getting these because sometimes buying like especially Void Rivals, like finding like issues like 6 and 7 of Void Rivals is like kind of hard. So like these are like you can get these on Amazon for like $11 usually on sale, and they're each 6 issues of a comic. So I mean, not a bad price for the paperback. The individual ones I've been getting a couple of just because some of the artwork is beautiful, like the one that we have on screen right now. It's there's so many good artists currently working on this series. I did see that there was one issue where they had like someone did not an AI art, but someone had traced like very obviously, and I think that one may have actually gotten pulled. But yeah, they're great. I just got caught up here recently, and I'm very excited to see where this keeps going. I've not done so Void Rivals, Transformers, and the G.I. Joe ones are all connected. I haven't read Duke or Cobra Commander yet. I need to read those. I'll probably pick those up soon just to have something else to read. Have you read those yet? Or are you reading these along?
Have not. I am way behind on the Transformers ones. But they are excellent. Actually, I read the first one to Liam the other night. It's a bedtime story. And which is kind of fun because Starscream smashes someone at the end of it. So, but and then Void Rivals the same.
My Ravage.
Yeah, and but yeah, good books. I really got to get the rest of them and catch up on that. So let's.
Are we ready?
Pop back. Yeah.
Is that all the news?
That's all the news, man. That's all.
I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's so much more we've missed, but we gotta move it along. They announce so much stuff all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more as well, but I'm not super worried about it. I'm
trying to think if there's just anything interesting that we missed that we might want to talk about, but I can't think of anything.
Yeah, I can't think of anything at the moment either.
Let's just pull up.
We want to start with our top released this year first.
Yeah, because I think I'll start my drinking as towards the. Actually, no, I can do that now. You want to do top 5 we got this year, and we'll end with the retrospect of like these are the figures that came out this year. That'll be our last one. How about that?
So you want to do our top 5 that was released this year as the second
as
one?
The last.
Okay.
The top 5 we got that didn't come out this year.
Okay.
And I'm going to get my alcohol for that, so you can kick us off.
Oh, man. Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know where my 5 is. Okay. So, as I mentioned a while ago, we did a lot of back collecting this year, and I've changed the way that I collect. Instead of trying to get everything or stuff because of hype or whatever, I'm really just trying to get stuff that I think is interesting. Like, and I'll pull up my camera here. Because now I've got a little desk cam. Also, I don't think I need this keyboard up here for some reason. Like, I picked up a couple RID 2015 figures this year. Like little Rooster Man here. And he's super neat. He's a motorcycle. He's got an interesting transformation. I can't remember this guy's name. He begins with a D now. But anyhow, so there's a couple of fun little things like that I just pick up because I think they're interesting little characters. Him and the Scorponok is kind of neat. And picked up a few other things. But my top, we'll go from 5 down. Oh, man, that's a hard one. So I don't even have these in order because this was such a hard choice to make. We'll go with, So a figure I didn't even know existed, and I've had the original version of this mold since 20. No, not even 20. It was 2008 or 2009, maybe 2010. But Power Dive from the Bay movies, which wasn't a Bay movie figure, but it was in the line. This was I don't think this was Hunt for the Decepticons, but the original version of it, Highbrow, was a Hunt for the Decepticons mold. And I picked this up at a local shop, and I think it's an awesome figure. Its alt mode is super unique. It's a P-38 Lightning, which Lee knows about the World War II planes. This thing was a freaking hoss of a plane. So there's a lot of stuff I just like the plane, and I like that in the alt mode, this thing looks like spot on like a P-38 Lightning. Like it's just awesome. The articulation's not going to be the best, but it do have fun gimmicks. Like we got both the little propeller spin here, and the guns can come off on the skirts, and we even got like a fun little like visor down gimmick, so the visor can pop up and then pop back down. Some really great light piping. So a lot of figures this year. Like I said, it was hard to pick.
Almost bought that figure.
Yeah.
The same day.
Yeah.
But instead, I got what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah. So this would be, I guess, my number. Put this down here. My number 5 figure for the year, coming in at a close tie with this guy. So Titans Return, Sky Shadow, retool of the Overlord mold.
Are you going through all 5 of yours?
No. This is just this is just my honorable mention.
Okay, that one's definitely worth an honorable mention.
Yeah, why I picked
I'm gonna go ahead and take my shot. So cheers.
Yeah, why I picked this over my other one, I don't know. I couldn't make this list out. It was a hard one. This was a harder list to make than the top 5 other figures. So
absolutely.
that's my number 5. But this would be a good tie. Because there's a lot of play value in this figure. So
I figured we would have more to say about this anyway. And like I said, we don't have a word. Kyle, Lee, I hope you guys are still here hanging out with us. We're just going to be vibing for a while. That's why I'm starting this. I figured we would have some fun and talk about some robots. I know you talked a little bit about how we've changed like our philosophies in collecting to just from like exclusive to just got to get everything to just like what's interesting, what's fun. And I think like I've been watching a lot of That Toy Guy and a lot of Dr. Lockdown and Thew and stuff like that this year. That's just like what's good, what's worth looking at, even things that are bad, like what's worth like looking at and experiencing for your first time. Like I got he's back over there. I got Titans Return Octane. He's not a great figure, but he's a fun, interesting figure to like just mess around with, like to experience. And that's been like my goal this year, is just get figures that are worth experiencing and not just because you gotta have it, you know. So some of my honorable mentions go to Energon Hot Rod, because Hot Rod's a G1 Skylinks, which is great. His motor doesn't work and he's got one broke leg, but I'm so happy to have him. Same place you got your figure, the biplane, I can't think of his name.
Power Dive, yeah.
Power Dive. I got RID Ruination from that same place on that same day. First G1 combiner I've ever had. And it's RID, so that's even better. It looks fantastic. I love the Scramble City combiner sets. Earthrise Dead Prime and the Shattered Glass versions. Absolutely love the Optimus Prime mode. I'm sad I'm not going to be able to get the Bump a Chicken one, because I would happily get every version of that mold. I still wish we would have got a Nemesis version of that mold, and maybe they still will at some point if they're still going to keep using it. But they'll probably swap over to the 86 mold, which I'm hoping. I think we've talked about this. They probably can't sell it for Leader without the trailer, but I'm thinking maybe I would be okay with like a Leader Plus. If we can do like a step down from Commander, like if we can change the Commander price, surely we can fluctuate like a, or make it like if they do like it's Nemesis Prime and he's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, then he can have a weird price point, you know, kind of like the Hot Rod.
That's what they did with
Hot Rod.
Shockwave. If you think about Shockwave, the comic version, he's $40 instead of $50. They just didn't put all of his extra junk with him.
Yeah, so they can
do that with Prime.
They can work that out. Cybertron Vector Prime, because we talked about him. The only reason that he didn't make this list is because he is a retool. And Cybertron Vector Prime, the OG one, I got both of those this year. Fantastic. Power of the Primes, Rodimus Unicronus, like talking about figures that we were like happy to get. Last couple ones are Tripticon, Scorpodoc, Fort Max, all the Titans, you know, great. Now my number 5 is gonna be RID Sideburn. Not a super expensive figure, but man, something about the chrome and the asymmetrical and the bolt sword exhaust pipe and just he's so good. I got him twice. He's so good. It made me buy the Legacy version, which is garbage.
Yeah, that's one of the one you got from the shop, right?
Yes, I love this figure. I love the way that it parts forms the the back bumper into the gun. The new version does not do this justice. It does in robot mode. I will say that I keep the new version in robot mode. The robot mode looks great. The car mode it shouldn't exist. But this figure is delightful. If you have a chance to pick up any of the colors of this mold, there's like 5 or something crazy.
Yeah, 5 or 6 of them. Yeah.
Absolutely do. You won't regret it. I know people complain that he's a little too hard to transform, but I think once you do it once or twice, you kind of get it. And just like, I mean, look at that. Like, you gonna say that's not like the coolest like alt mode ever? Like, come on.
Yeah, well, that Dodge Viper looks great. And that's why they couldn't do the new one like that because of licensing and stuff. But yeah, no, it's
there's the other one I have.
Yeah, that's definitely still, in my opinion, superior to the new one we got. It was also whatever that Cyberverse girl transformer was, whose name I can't remember.
Shadow Striker,
yeah. Talk about a figure that we didn't get. Like, I mean, that's, that they had to reuse that mold. I get it, but yeah.
Bad thing is, I've heard that not only so the Shadow Striker is accurate to like what Shadow Striker looks like. The issue is, I heard that they had room in the budget to retool his robot or his alt mode, and they didn't. That they used they used it on one of the Rock Lords instead, which is annoying.
Yeah, that's really annoying because I like the rock car guys. I think they're pretty fun, but like reusing it for that, man. Let's see. And
you threw in an Autumn Richmond to do number 5 slot, so I'm going to do that as well. Instead of getting the one you got, I got G1 Grimlock that day. He's missing his accessories, but he is complete, and he has almost all of his stickers, and they're in decent condition. So this is like, I had to put one on the list, and I was trying to decide between this and you can see him over there, Optimus. I got G1 Optimus Prime, but he's a bit in shambles. So this one's a better, like this was like the, oh yeah, G1 moment. Like I've never handled this before. I've handled it. Everyone's kind of, whether you have or haven't handled a G1 Optimus Prime, you kind of know what he does. You know what I mean? Whereas like this is a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah. So that's their number 5. Here's that robot or that dude in bike mode, and he's a fun, pretty cool little motorcycle. Anyway, so I saw that say like RID 2015. Didn't get into it. Thought the show was done. Thought the toys felt like they were cheap. But some of them were actually pretty fun there. Number 4. How about I say you pouring one up?
I'm gonna get mine ready while you do yours. Can't do 5 shots straight back to back out. Then I'll just pass out.
Okay.
What am I working at? I don't even know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at 30% alcohol by volume.
Number 4. 30 Springer. It's a little bit washed out there on the camera. Light's a little too bright on it. But let me get that down some. There we go. Maybe that's some. But this dude just looks cool. He has a whole vibe. Camera doesn't really do this thing justice. I like how in person, like how awesome this looks. I will take this over the 86 Springer any day, except I wish that he had ankle tilts, but that was before that was a thing. So I can't fault him for that. Let me turn the camera down a little bit so we can just do that. So I like this guy. The alt modes are not the best things ever, but
it's such a fun looking figure.
The robot mode is like super, super sick. He's got flick fire missiles, so something that actually works. I much prefer his blade sword over the Studio Series 86 one that they recently released because it looks better to me. I don't know, it's just his whole vibe to me feels better than the other offering. His coloring looks really great. I really would like to get the Sandstorm to experience it. Transformation is a little kind of, it's not difficult, but it's not the most fun. But it's interesting to see that some of the stuff from this you can tell carried over into the Siege Springer, because the way his legs actually tab together in kind of like a weird asymmetrical way is very much like the Siege Springer, and the way that the arms fold and stuff. So I think they used a lot of the engineering, not the engineering per se, but a lot of the ideas behind this guy to make the Siege version. So that's going to be my number 4. And I'll just be honest, man, I feel bad about saying some number 4, like say, some of these rankings, because I'm like, man, there's so many other things that are like good around here.
I was like back here looking at my shelf, and I was like, what do I not talk about? Like we really did skip. That's why I really want to start doing reviews, because there is so many figures that I've gotten that I'm like, I have so much to say. Got to get it out, you know.
Yeah.
So allow me to think it and sink it for you one more time here. Cheers.
Kampai.
Also, I would point out that I'm drinking Smirnoff, red, white, and berry. It tastes like, I don't know if you've ever had this. It tastes like those red, white, and blue popsicles. It tastes just like melted ones of those. It's perfect. So you did a green guy for your number 4, so I'm going to do a green guy for my number 4. But I'm going to go a completely different direction. I'm doing G1 Hardhead.
All right.
This was the year of the Headmasters for us.
Yep.
Somehow.
A lot of Titan returners for both of us.
We really just went in on Titan's Return. And it's a great toy line.
Yep.
I'm sad I missed it. There's a lot of great figures that I would love to have from that toy line still. I think I'll probably get a couple more next year. I got Blowpipe and Misfire, I think.
Yep.
And I'm just missing the maroon one from that set, but that one's like $200, so it'll be a minute.
Oh yeah. Not Nautica.
The other one I can't think of.
No, is that Misfire?
Maybe that is Misfire. I think Misfire is the maroon. Their names are kind of all. They're all like Trigger Happy, Blowpipe, Misfire, like those things.
Yeah.
But G1 Hardhead, he is so good. I got this in a trade at a shop for some pop figures because I'm downsizing my pop figure collection. You can still see that I got a couple over here and up here, and some over here. But major downsizing on that. So being able to turn something that I enjoyed into something new to enjoy, that already felt special. But getting a G1 Headmaster, and it works, and I'm not going to flip this little piece down because every time I do, I feel like it's going to break. But it works. The Headmaster gimmick, it's just so good. It really is. Like, it has no business being as good as it is. And also, I forgot that, like, until just now, when I accidentally did it, that this piece on his helmet actually flips down so that when he's in like the little individual mode, that you can't see his face on his back, which is something that the new ones don't even have, which is fantastic. But he is missing a gun, which is a shame, but that's okay because even the new one, like the new Titans Return version, doesn't come with that gun, so who cares? But yeah, overall, just a great figure. Like, I wish I could get more of the G1 Headmasters, but they're really hard to come by. And I've gotten a couple, like this Rat Bat and Brainstorm and a fake Weird Wolf from Temu. But yeah, he turns into a nonsense tank, and he's hollow and he has no articulation. But man, just look at him and tell me that there's not everything to love about that. Like, I don't know. That was just of all the G1 figures, this one stayed on my desk the longest, and I don't really know why.
Yeah, I think we both kind of started doing a little more G1 just because of the charm
and the accessibility that we've been offered. Because I think, I mean, you can go on eBay and buy figures and everything like that, but there's something nice about having a like local stores to go to and I feel better about spending my money, even if sometimes I have to pay a little extra. But I don't know. It also makes it like, I think I told you, like I have a lot of figures in my collection that I associate with like certain days, like our events. And so even if I don't particularly like that, like I have core class Starscream on my desk at work. I don't particularly like core class Starscream all that much. She's fine. But I got that at Universal Studios at the Transformers ride. When I went this past time with like my mom, or not my mom, with my dad and my wife and everything. So that was like a special day. So it's like that figure isn't great, but he holds a special place to me. So it's like a lot of these figures that are on my list aren't even like because I love the figure so much, just because they have a good memory associated with them.
Yeah. All right. So number 3.
Yep, number 3. I like that. Also, I will tell Lee and Kyle that we did not discuss these prior. So these are, and also, you probably haven't even, you don't even know what you're going to pick, do you? You just.
No, I think I've got a better idea now. I kind of know where I'm at. So
I've had my list done for like a week, but I knew you would do yours on the fly. And also, I've changed some of mine today too.
Yeah, honestly, I forgot what all I'd gotten until I started putting stuff out, and then I was like, I don't know what is what.
Oh, that's fantastic. Do you want mind wipe?
All right, so my and you actually just mentioned this guy. My number 3 is Blowpipe. Wait, Blowpipe? Trigger Happy. Now, Trigger Happy is the double one. I always forget this, and I literally looked this up today because I was I'm gonna get his name right, and I've done forgot his name. I always forget this dude's name. But yep, so he's got him too. So I really, really enjoy this figure more than I thought I was going to. The transformation is actually pretty fun, even to be one that they used a million times, but it's unique enough on him versus Slugslinger. And specifically, I don't think I would like this as much if I hadn't been able to happen upon the Takara Tomy Takara Legends one, because the paint on this thing is so good, and he came with the Target Master.
Yes, mine is the Hasbro version.
Yeah.
So you can see the color differences there a little bit.
And things like the Headmaster's visor, like in the robot mode of the Headmaster's like painted, and just makes everything look greater. And he came with, like I said, his Target Master. That all this thing is a pre idea of what then became all of the Siege Target Masters. So it's like the Siege Target Masters are these same guys basically. They just made them like with fewer parts and more like mass production in mind, because I mean he's basically the same thing. This folds over, but it's pinned on. No, it's not pinned on. It's clipped on still. But they so the Siege little Target Masters that came in the packs kind of came from this idea, from the Takara Legends Titans Return figures, and so that's why I'm trying to find an Overlord, but he's expensive. So you might as well get the Takara Legends one, because the regular one's like 100 to 150. The Takara Legends is like 200. So if you're gonna do it right.
I was so mad. I went on Black Friday to pick up an Overlord, and when I got there, it was claimed.
And where was it, in Athens or?
No, that was in what's that place? What the Nerd? I forget where that. That one, he had it literally behind the counter, and someone had already claimed it. I was like, no, if I knew I could have claimed it, I would have called you. But you can see the some of the color differences between yours and mine. Obviously, I just gave mine a random Target Master that I had laying around.
Yeah, and you can see
but also he doesn't even really need him because he's already armed to the teeth.
Yeah,
he's all the guns. He's got 2 guns. These guns can fold down over his hands. Like, he doesn't need a Target Master. He's just made of guns.
And the transformation isn't hard or anything, or anything like crazy or new, but it's fun and it's enjoyable, and it does a lot of interesting things that I feel transformations don't do nowadays. So it kind of surprised me. I could have almost just as easily put a Slug Slinger in here. But I like the design of this.
Is your Slug Slinger the regular Slug Slinger like mine, or is it the Takara version too?
It's the Takara version as well.
Let me see it. I'll show you mine.
So
I was gonna say because these are like a. I was gonna say these are like a completely different color.
Yeah, different color, and the paint on the chest here, and the vents painted, and then the little gold here on the leg. Again, the Target Master is painted, and yeah, so even the jet thrusters on the back are silver in this painted blue. So mine has one little broken tab, but I'm like, I don't care. This is a great figure too. Even his little double-headed jet mode's a weird thing, and again, he came with the Target Master. So yeah, very very cool figures, even to be as old as they are. Like, which that was 2016, 17. So.
I just think it's funny that we both got the same figures, but you got the Takara versions and I got the Hasbro versions.
Yeah, and even stuff like this, like even on the inside, his little where the screw is just a little hit of paint. So the Takara stuff is, if you have a character that you really like and you can swing it, I highly suggest going for the Takara Legends if they make a version of it. They're much better for sure. All right, Will, number 3. How do I do this?
I should have guilt tripped somebody else into joining me with this.
Yeah, I would have, but I am currently not consumed. Taking a break.
That's fair.
It's
good.
To be fair, good.
It's been a now then. Yeah. To be fair, I haven't had a drink. I had a drink on Christmas, but that was like the first one I've had in a month. So, this is the first time I've had anything like to drink other than like a cocktail in a minute. So, number 3, cheers. It's worrying that it's going down easier. It's starting to taste more and more like candy.
Like a rocket pop.
Yep. All right, let's see. So I have an entire shelf dedicated to this character. It's really no surprise. God, that alt mode is great. Look at that. That jet mode is great. Both jet modes on those. I love the Cloud City dumb car with the dual cockpits on the other one too.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, for Slug Slinger, if it wouldn't have been the Takara version, I may not have picked him up because I just don't like that color as much. But that darker blue makes it look good. But yeah, I mean, that's a freaking X-wing, or more like a Z95 headhunter. So.
You've never drank alcohol in your whole life. Dang. Well, my house is full of alcohol. I have a home bar, so I have I don't know. I haven't done inventory in a while. Last time I did inventory, I had something like 90 bottles in my collection. I spend too much money on junk. Don't be like me. Anyway, number 3 on my list. Like I said, I have an entire shelf dedicated back there. No surprise. Animated. Speaking of, Hot Rod or Rodimus.
You got animated Rodimus.
Animated Rodimus.
Because Hot Rod couldn't be used for some reason. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's Hot Rod. He's not Rodimus because he's not a Prime. So he's just, but he's got the older face. So I guess he's a little older. But dang, man, he's so good. He's got such a fun transformation. He clicks in all the right ways. He's a little fiddly. He's got a bow for a weapon. He's got a flick fire missile crossbow as a weapon. The paint applications, just everything about this figure. I love that you can flip around the Autobot badge. So if you don't want to have the Autobot badge, if you just want to have the flames uninterrupted, you can have that. I found this place in Atlanta, and I'm not gatekeeping the name. I just can't think of it at the moment. It's Second Chance Toys. It's in Marietta. Shout out to them. Super nice people. Somebody on the TF boards posted about it, and I was just happened to be in the area, stopped in. Some amazing stuff in there. Absolutely lovely people. Great memory because it was just a weekend getaway for me and my wife. And $30, animated hot rod, a new hot rod on the shelf, and I'll show you the other thing I got there.
$30 for an animated hot rod. That's great. Real fast.
Kyle, you're gonna be jealous.
Thank you for stopping by as always. Hope your lady gets to feeling better. Make sure that she gets plenty of rest. Rest up. That's the best thing. Medicine helps, but you gotta get that rest as well.
Bye, Kyle. Hope you have a good one. Happy New Year. I'm gonna show you this because you're gonna be jealous.
Oh, you picked up a G1 battle trap.
Yes, it did.
He's got the gun. That's what's impressive about that.
He's got the gun and he's got all his stickers in good condition, actually. They had two. One was missing the gun and the stickers, and he was a bit cheaper, so I paid a little extra and got the complete one, which I know that you have his counterparts.
I do. Picked him up as well. He's missing his gun, but that's fine because I mean he didn't cost. He was costing nothing, so. Not a super big deal. No, that's cool, man.
He's not good enough to make the list, but dang, is he cool in general? Like,
yeah, those guys are fun. I considered those guys as well.
I also got the other. You and me both got the other version.
Yeah, we both got the newer version of them, which is a great figure as well. Again,
you consider putting out. It didn't make the list. That's too many things because that's an amazing figure. But yeah, no, like, I mean, like this. It's like, is that a figure better than this figure? Maybe, but like this is closer to my heart. So
we're not doing it on like
we're doing vibes. We're doing vibes. We only operate off vibes. Like objectivity is for the birds. Come on.
Yep. So
I'll leave that to Dr. Lockdown. He can tell me.
Number 2. Could probably be predictable, and it's a newer edition, and it is G1 Cab or Hosehead.
Oh, he's so adorable.
Yeah, my brother-in-law got me this for Christmas, and I opened up the part of the box. I saw the red, and I was like, "Oh man, did he get me Inferno? Because I already have Inferno G1. It's one of actually few complete G1s that I have." And then I looked down a little more. I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's another red fire truck. And I was like, that's not one of the Protectobots. It's like, oh, I know what this is. I was like, dude, that is really cool. He's got his gun with him. He's got his little head. And just like the other headmasters, flip his chest down, and there's nothing there. And then when you plug his head on, boom. The little tech specs appear there. I don't know if you did it or not. Rip his head off.
Cool.
Let's see, yeah. So you can kind of see it pop in there. And the cool thing about this series, the Master Force guys, was when they transform in the show from the kids, the junior headmasters, and the robot bodies were called their transtectors, right? So it was really cool because in the show, they flipped out, and their little seats kind of flipped out, and they kind of rotated around, and those became their helmets. So it's the same thing. So he's got his little seat, and he's got a little robot mode. You can sit in it, and there's a little robot head. Much more simplistic, no arm movement on these guys. But then it is dog simple to transform this guy. It's just slide in, flip out, rotate around, and this is really tight. Will not let Liam handle this guy. And then just nice buttery sounding ratchet there, and then it just goes up the front. And there's actually a little slot right here that this slots down into just so perfectly that it fits a little head for storage. And I mean, it's the cutest little fire truck you ever did see. Got a little extending hose arm there. It actually does swivel. which is cool. So it's something else probably could have gone here on the list, but man, and it could just be like the new shiny thing. But this, again, like we were talking about with the original G1 figures, there's just a certain charm some of them have. And so you had a G1 Headmaster on your list, and I have a G1 Headmaster on my list as well, because these things are great. Like they
really are. They are.
Yeah, they just have a quality of feel to them. So
yeah. I am in the process of get him clicked in,
and let's see.
And I'm gonna plug that in there. There is G1 Hardhead and his alt mode. His tank mode. He's got Cybertronian tank mode. Just an adorable little thing, really. And he's got a spot for another gun. You can put this gun here, and the cockpit opens up, of course. And let me get his little guy. I need to grease his waist because God, that's stiff. I don't want to break it. There he is. See if we can.
Yeah, it's kind of remarkable how large those G1 Headmaster guys were. They were like big.
Yeah, they are really big. They're nice. Just like.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
like twice as big as like a modern one. So, okay. So that is he's so cute. Like the hose head, like a fire. He's just a chubby little fire truck. Like how can you not love that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so good. Let me throw his head in here so I can figure out what I'm doing next. Okay. So what am I on? We're on 2.
Yes.
All right. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. That's
me and my friends always had a joke. It'd be if you do something stupid, it's 3 for Dale.
It's one of my friends, my older roommates, would say about people saying "Roll Tide." He's like, basically that's like saying white power. So,
all right.
I was like,
well, definitely not that.
So,
all right, Divosia, which is I want to say that's like German or something for cheers, like a German cheers.
Yeah,
or maybe it's Dutch.
In British, not British. I'm sorry, Brazilian Portuguese. It's Soja, blessings.
Yes, blessings. Okay,
like cheers.
So, you probably have this on your list. I don't know if you do. I'm gonna go ahead and do it then. I have last night Cogman. You looking at me crazy?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I couldn't tell what you said at first, and then it took me a second to figure out which car that is. No, no. Cogman almost made my list. To be honest,
this is. I don't remember which version this is. The
last night.
This is the last night. But there's
Studio
2 versions.
Series.
Is this the Studio Series or is yours the Studio Series? We have the different. We have the different decos. We're really good about getting the same figures and different decos. Because mine has the like metallic wash chest, and I think yours has the other one.
Yeah, mine has the golden cog, golden chest.
Yours has the different silver than mine. Both of these figures, they're the exact same figure, just slightly different decos. There he is in alt mode. Thank you. I figured you would have him in robot mode. Mm-hmm. Once again, a headmaster. A headmaster in studio, only headmaster in Studio Series. Only live action headmaster. And he does it so well, so effortlessly. Like he's got an interior car mode. On a whiskey deluxe.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
On a deluxe.
What they did with this guy.
Is your headmaster? Does he have a face? Mine's not painted. Mine is unpainted. Now the actual face has a beautiful paint job to it.
Yeah, he is. He is an unpainted as well. Yeah, and then.
But I mean, I am a sucker for. He turns into what, an Aston Martin. Like, it's a beautiful car mode. If there's one thing I can sing the praises of the live action movies, is that the vehicle modes are always great. With the exception of like some of the Cybertron designs. Like, I don't love all the Cybertron molds. But as far as Earth molds, nail it every time. I know that's like, and then the robots kind of get compromised because of that, for better or worse. But like, he looks great. He comes with a sword, and like, for a figure that we never saw on screen transform, he looks great. Like, I 100% would believe that that's a movie design, that's what he would have looked like in robot mode. He's got beautiful weapon storage. Like, me and you both, we're not big movie guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hold a lot of the movie designs in very high regards. I have a couple of like figures that I had as a kid. You can see them down there. I have like the '07 like Optimus and Jazz and Blackout, and a couple of fun ones like the tow truck with the like B with his legs blown off and stuff like that. But like, I'm not going out of my way to get like movieverse figures. So
yeah,
but there's just something. I think we both watched that Toy Guys review of this figure.
I've actually never seen it. I just saw him at the store, and I was like, huh. And I knew that he was a headmaster, and so I found his head, and I was like, okay, I want him. Like,
I want him.
Again,
He's just
a headmaster. Like, I like a headmaster. And it's
in studio series.
It's the live action headmaster. That's the thing. I'm like, man,
there's never going to be another one. This is it. This is such an anomaly of a figure that will probably never get made again. Like, I don't think they're going to make a new, like, honestly, this is it. This is what you want Cogman to be. Like, the only other thing I could think is if you'd want like a static figure, like a properly painted. But even then, the only thing I would want personally is a painted headmaster. Like, give me like I like a properly painted headmaster. That would be fine with that. That would be the only like thing that would make this better. Also, most subtle Autobot badge in all of existence.
I don't even know if mine's got one.
Like, it's just barely there. Like, I didn't even realize he had one until just now. But yeah,
I've never even looked for that.
Also, it's clear plastic, and all of this is painted absolutely beautifully. Different details on mine compared to yours. You can see the paint on mine. Also, for no reason whatsoever, the inside of his chest has the most like beautiful detailing and paint. Like, why is all that there? It doesn't need to be.
Yeah. All the cogs and stuff there.
Yeah, because the only time you see this is in this mode.
Yeah.
Like, his chest, you know what? This is what, I swear, this is the inspiration for the new, what's his name? The Minibot, his chest opens. Hell, what's his name?
Minibot, the chest opens.
Him.
Oh. Gears.
Because, like, he doesn't need to.
He came out too.
I forgot he came out too. Also, he's great. He didn't make the list because Better Gears comes out next year. Better Gears might make the list.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we both hit some movies. Like, I picked up the last night. I picked up the last night Barricade as well, just because I thought he was
which I'm jealous of.
An interesting version of that character. I think the car's a Mustang, maybe. I don't know. But he's just kind of neat. He has like this wrist blaster thing here, and then a nightstick, and then a gun, Just like not even like a Transformer gun. It just looks like a gun. It just looks like he's got a pistol. So
yeah,
but on his knuckles, it says protect and serve. Like so, he's got like brass knuckles that say protect and serve across them. And I was like, that's just
his. Is his tempo correct on the side because it says punish and enslave? Does it say that, or does it say protect and serve?
It says to punish and enslave.
Hell yeah! One of my favorite, actually, I will say this: my absolute favorite live action movie bot is the original 2007 Barricade. If you get a chance to pick that figure up, I highly recommend it. Frenzy becomes his grill. Like it comes with Frenzy, and he like unfolds, and it shouldn't work. It should not work. It's such a dumb gimmick, and it works so good. Barricade is obviously one of the best live action movie bots. He's the only one to get a like a mainline, like a G1 updated release with getting a Siege and a Kingdom release of Barricade. Because I know there is a G1 Barricade, but like. The one that they've released is very obviously inspired by the movie ones. I will say I saw I don't know if you watched The Sheep Builder on YouTube.
I've watched some of his stuff. Yeah,
he's hilarious. But he's number one, or his top 5. He had Gears, which I agree because he's a great mini bot with a wrist swivel and double elbows. Like what double elbows on a mini bot? Wrist swivel. Opening chest, like he's good. This is a testament. Like this is an amazing figure, and the fact that it doesn't even make the top 5 is like that's a testament to like how good this year was. And it is the 40th, and so it should be. Yeah. But like, and it may be looking a bit bleak into the future, but that's a worldwide problem. So but as long as I can have my silly little bots. Do you have any other honorable mentions before you get to your number 1?
Yeah, I was going to say a few more honorable mentions. Another live action. This little dude whose name I can't remember. I think his name is just Salvage. I think it's cool because it says Sparkplug and Sons Salvage on it. And he's just a good-looking little lowrider pickup. The grill is painted beautifully.
I want the blue one
the doors don't open, but this whole thing comes off, and there's still like a fully detailed pickup bed here with a tailgate that pops down. And then you put him in robot mode, and I'm not going to do it, but it's just like he's one of those ridiculous Bayverse design looking guys who was never on screen. But the fact that the weird, ridiculous robot of him turns into this is great. And it's not the standard fold up on itself. It's great. So that's one honorable mention, as well as Broadside, which I had picked up because I wanted him for forever, and I got him, and then I was like, I don't think I really like this guy as much as I did. But I've revisited him again, and like, I really do like Broadside a lot. I could see them doing the Star Convoy Titan treatment to him, and I really think that they should. I think that he needs an updated figure because there are 2 of him, the G1 and this one. And
he's the only triple changer left, right?
Yeah, wait. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only triple changer we have left. Besides,
he's a weird character too. Like,
yeah. He's gonna get a king, a leader class figure. I would love if they made him a commander, because I think if there is any triple changer that deserves to be a commander, it's probably him.
They should just go ahead and do him as a Titan. I would be fine with it. Like the new 150 Titan price point. Just do it.
You know what? Honestly, I would be okay if they did that. And then what if? Okay, hear me out. This is gonna be dumb. But what if he worked similarly to Motormaster, Superion, maybe even what's the other Titan? What's the Titan from this year? What's his name? The Armada one, Tidal Wave.
Yeah,
where he's got the mini pieces. I would be okay if the robot was leader size, but he came with a base mode that made him an aircraft carrier, because he turns into an aircraft carrier in what's the other mode?
A big airplane.
So like have have the robot turn into the airplane and then like turn into a piece of the aircraft carrier, and then the aircraft carrier becomes a base. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I think
that's the way
they took with Tidal Wave. I think there's a million things they could do with.
That's the way in my brain that you get a triple. I know people probably wouldn't like that, but I think that would be the only way that you could get him to scale in any capacity.
Yeah, he's not going to, but I think that's a fine compromise. I mean, because then you'd have with the Megatron for the Tidal Wave for the Megatron add-on part, so I think that's totally fine. But
my idea would literally just be like, kind of like how what's the new the jet, the Concorde that we just looked at. How he's got like a trailer.
Silverbolt, yeah.
Silverbolt. How he's got a trailer. Like, have him turn into the plane. Like, have the actual robot turn into the plane, and then he turn into like a brick that you would just slot into a piece of, like, he would become like maybe like the bridge. You know what I'm talking about? Like of an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
And then you could even include like a little raising, like the mini con that they should have put with Tidal Wave.
Yeah.
Like, there's a way to do it. There's a fun ways to do it. But yeah, no, those are great. Those are great mentions. Those are great. Yes. Those are great figures.
And so for number one,
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I tried not to do it, but I tried not to pick this as like number one, because I feel it doesn't, like, it's not fair because of
what it is.
Because of what it is, and I'm kind of cheating a little bit.
It's our list. It can be whatever.
But because my number one back collecting items for this year are Metroplex, Trypticon, and Omega Supreme. I didn't want to put a Titan in the list because I'm like, I don't think that's fair enough. But yeah, so
yeah. Oh, yeah, also Lee, Octane, yeah, definitely. That's the one we forgot. We forgot Octane also needs an update still.
Yeah, so that's the Titans. I couldn't really pick
it be?
I love them. I love Omega Supreme. I love Trypticon. I think he's just fun and chunky, and he's like weirdly expressively posable enough even to be so big as he is. And I love his extra modes. And then Fort Max. I think he's an amazing figure.
Yeah. Did you put stickers on yours?
Not Fort Max. I mean Metroplex.
Metroplex.
Yeah. I'm thinking about putting the toy hacks on them. I don't know, but I just love those Titans figures. So that's kind of what it is. And that brings me back to something I was going to say a while ago. I know we're getting re-releases of all these Titans. So we got Scorponok, we've got Omega Supreme, now we got Trypticon. I don't think they're going to re-release Metroplex. And here's why. Here's why. Because he has lights and sounds.
Does he have lights and sounds?
Did your re-release of
Fort Max? Yeah, he does. He does.
Fort Max, he's got lights and sounds.
He's got lights and sounds. Yeah, he's got all the lights and sounds.
Maybe I'm wrong. Then maybe they'll do it, but I don't know. And the little moving eye gimmick, but so that's it. If I have to pick one, I can't. It's between between Trypticon and Metroplex probably. Even though I love Omega Supreme so much, but that's my top pick for this year.
You got 3 Titans, right? You got Metroplex, Omega, and Trypticon. I also got 3 Titans this year. I got Fort Max, a Scorponok, and Trypticon. So we both got Trypticon this year. All great picks. I think I have a top 5 most surprising figures. I don't know if you did that or not. I figured we might go into that next before we get into our last segment. I figured I'd just kind of run through those real quick. But I'll get to that in a second. It's a good year for Titans for both of us. Like we did. This is our big year. Like, it was the 40th anniversary, and that it's kind of fitting that this is our big year for back collecting too.
Yeah, it was our Titan back collecting year.
It's our Titan back collecting, which is fine because next year is also going to be my Titan back collecting because I got 3 Titans this year, and as it's looking like I'm going to get 3 Titans next year. Oh yeah, really, that's a great figure.
Mention, so.
Yeah. Is he getting a recolor? Is he getting a blue release?
They would be a fool not to do a Cryotech since they've already got the tooling and everything there, but I don't know that it will sell.
Because because I have the Scourge right here, which is Cybertron Scourge. His colors are based on that figure.
On the Cryotech figure?
Yeah, so mine is the blue version, the Cryotech version, and then they have the normal version is the red version that is. So that's why I
also picked up the Cryotech as well this year. Mm-hmm. He's up there somewhere.
All of these are great. All of the Titans are fantastic. We talked about, like, I think the Nemesis was a step down from the Ark. And I've kind of given my reasons, basically being like, they sold Mainframe as its own figure. Like, that's how good Mainframe is. Yeah. As part of the Ark, Nemesis doesn't have anything that feels as good as that. Those stupid blasters that come off of the shins, that's a joke in comparison. True. Like the stupid little knife thing, that's a joke. Like, the ship mode, beautiful. I've kind of come around to the robot mode. I still don't love the robot mode. They could have done anything with the robot mode, and it just looks so gangly and like uninteresting to me. Which is a shame because it's the first female Titan, and I wanted to love it. And then we've both had our issues with Tidal Wave, and like a QC issue of you can't even put a whole section together. Mm-hmm. That should never be an issue. If the Transformer can't transform at $200, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying?
That's a problem, yeah.
What are we doing? And I do hope we get the Energon version. I want the green version. That's the version I would buy. And I hope it's fixed. And I think they will. I think they're smart enough to do that. Like they talked about the Trypticon. They're fixing the knees. You know, they're fixing the legs. On Fort Max, they fixed some of the QC issues that he had. Guardian Robot fixes some of the QC issues. Like, you know, they're smart enough to do that. So I'm going to give you an honorable mention as well. I'm going to give you two before I give you my number one. I'm going to give you the one I got yesterday because I don't think he's been here long enough for me to give him a proper ranking yet. And that is Cybertron Starsaber. Mine is cool. Mine is complete. Mine is this one missile here. And there is that shop that's at Marietta has the Takara version of this for like $180. And I am so tempted to go get it because that version is chromed. Like everything you see that's yellow is like chromed yellow on that version. And the red is chromed. It's beautiful. And it's complete. The issue with that is it has some paint chipping. This figure's known for paint chipping. But he's got so many accessories that finding a complete version of this, I got this for about $100. To find a complete version of this will cost you about $200. So I was very lucky to get this figure. I have not tested his lights and sounds. I have to open this piece and see if there's even batteries in it. But man, is he cool. I haven't combined him with Optimus yet because I've been redoing my shelves. I like to get better. Like I think I sent you a picture of this one. I've tried this new thing where instead of I'm very bad of this is G1 Autobots. This is the 86 movie. This is Hot Rod. This is G1. This is Cybertron. This shelf over here is a mix of everything that's purely based on colors and vibes. Yeah. Like if it felt right, it went on this shelf. And so that's my new kind of going forward because I feel like that'll help me collect too. Because instead of just being like on the 86 shelf, instead of being like, oh, I have a hole to fill, it's more like what's gonna look cool here, you know?
Yeah.
Because this is all purple and blacks and stuff like that. So it's what's gonna look cool up here? This guy's fantastic. He turns into a really cool alt mode. He also combines with Optimus, but my Optimus is shoved way back in the back, and I don't want to get him down just yet. I mean, he's almost not a Cybertron toy. He almost feels he feels
that doesn't look very Cybertron-y.
He feels like a step above. He's a little extra. You know what I mean? There's a couple of figures in the Cybertron toy line that kind of stand out as being a little bit extra. Vector Prime is one of those. The way his Minicon integrates into his alt mode. Scorponok, not Scorponok. Demolisher. The way his Minicon integrates into his chest and everything. There's a couple of them. There's just they really like. There's like very like a lot of the Cybertron toys are kind of like, yeah, they're fine, but like there's like a handful that are like you really put like the extra work into these, like now like when we get things like Tarn and things like that are like a figure that'll come up in a minute of like they just put that little bit of extra in and you just appreciate that, you know. This is that figure. Like he even's got like special Autobot logos, which the Takara version has even cooler versions of. But just man, just this having this figure in my hand, I showed my wife. Anytime you'd buy a Cybertron toy, they would come with a pamphlet. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those, if you've had a Cybertron toy. On one side, it would have whatever that current toy lineup was. So it would have like all the figures. And on the other side, it would have a map of like all the planets, like the Speed Planet and the Earth Planet. It'd have like all these blurbs of like all the information about it. So on the back, it's basically like a catalog of like, here's all the figures that there are. And I remember having all of those. And I had him. I have one. I need to get it out. I have him. And I have Jetfire, and I had Vector Prime circled because those are the ones I wanted so bad that unfortunately just I never got. Cool. So having 2 of the 3 of those as an adult is like...
Kyle, we're still going, man. We're still going.
What?
Sorry, Kyle popped up in the chat. Said, y'all still going?
He's back. Yep. Kyle's back. Let's go, baby. But yeah, no. Also, like his swords come out of his wings. Like this piece right here, it slots in there.
That's cool, man.
They're meant for Optimus Prime to hold, but the best thing is because so his hands are his like jet turbines. And so if you slide this slider, it fills in the jet, like all 6 cannons. So literally you're pulling one back to make his hand. But because he's got weird hands, he can't hold his swords. So they come with extra pieces to put the swords in that connect to his arms so he can hold his swords. That then store in here and fill this section out of the tail. Like he's got so many tiny little details. Like I watched like 5 reviews, and each review I would watch, somebody would point out something different that it did.
Yeah, that you didn't know. Man, that's cool the way that they used to make things.
Like when you attach him to Optimus Prime, his chest pops open. Look at this. Like it expands so that it fits Optimus Prime better. Because Optimus Prime's so much bigger. Also, this is like Vac Metal Chrome Autobot logo. Like, I think that's the only time I've ever seen that. On as a Hasbro,
so
post.
Why was this not on your top list for the year? Why is this just an honorable mention?
Because I got him yesterday. Because I haven't had the time to truly appreciate.
Just a second.
Uh-oh.
Whoops.
There we go. It's okay.
By accident, trying to fix my headphones, so.
That's okay. I thought, well, we've been on a phone call for like 3 hours. So my other honorable mention, and I'm going to go ahead and start getting my shot ready so I can, I've been stalling. I've lied to you all. I've been stalling, so I don't have to take. I have one more honorable mention. It's a movie bot. It kind of fits in with yours that you just showed of like the truck of like it's not a movie. It's not like an on-screen one. I think the best live action movies are the toy exclusive ones. I think we've talked about this before. Like this doesn't show up in the movie, and it's like one of the best live action toys.
Yeah.
So yours, you got the robot or the truck. I forget what his name is. If you find the blue one, please get him for me because I love this idea that we have like twin collections of like we have a lot of the same figures, but like you have Omega Supreme, I have Guardian Robot, you have the Hasbro or you have the Takara versions, I have the Hasbro versions. So if you can find the blue version of that guy, I would love to have him.
Yeah, I think Kyle has him. And he's like got a big Decepticon logo on the
he's got a huge Decepticon logo like on his roof, and I love it. So in that vein, My other honorable mention is movie 2007 Crankcase, which is the Cybertron Red Alert mold in these beautiful blue colors. He's just fantastic.
Yeah, and that is not a movie. That's not a movie figure. Like that's not.
No, he's not. But look at that! Like he's got a special Cyber Planet key with the Decepticon logo. He keeps his like accessories in there, and God, is he just the colors on him? And like, yeah, he's not, but he's in a tie-in comic, and like they kind of like stylize him in a way that is like movie. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you look at the comic, there is a stylized version of this figure, and I know we'll never get that, but if they wanted to release, it would be weird to have two crankcases from the same mold. Except it wouldn't, because we have 2 Red Alerts and like 15 Sideways from the same mold.
Yeah.
If they wanted to re-release, he'll show up later, but I'm going to show up now, Cannonball. If they wanted to re-release this as Crankcase again, as this Crankcase in this deco, I would buy it. Like, because this is so good. So that's my honorable mentions to Cybertron toys. Surprise. Being me, you won't be surprised what number 1 is. Cheers to you, my friend. I was trying to think of a toast. I didn't have one.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
We are in the age of the primes. It is 2024. Transformers 1 came out. There's one figure who is above all in the Transformers universe, and he deserves the spotlight. And I fully believe he will be the HasLab either next year or the year after.
Primus.
Cybertron Primus. I have him here in his planet mode. It's time. They've been teasing it. We got that picture of Unicron where this guy's sitting up in the corner above it with the other HasLabs. Like, they've already teased it. He's in there somewhere. We know they've been working on it. I don't know if he's going to be a HasLab. I don't know if they would do him as a commander and put him in the Studio Series line and have him be Studio Series Transformers 1. Primus, I think that would be okay. I would be okay with either one. I also think it would make more sense for him to be a HasLab, because if you think about it, the HasLabs technically fit into whatever toy line they're in. So, like, Unicron is technically part of the War for Cybertron trilogy. What's his name? The Omega Prime. He's technically Legacy, technically. So, like, it would make sense. Age of the Primes. You're going to leave out the Prime. The Prime of all Primes.
Yeah.
Like, if we're going to do this, we got to do this, right?
Yeah.
And this figure, to be 20 years old, holds up fantastically. He's got a stupid base mode. He comes in, what, like 3 different decos? A beautiful, like, G2 crazy movie deco, a really boring movie deco if you want that, or the classic Cybertron one. And if you want, you can get the Takara version, which is a little bit nicer, a little bit more chromed out paint. He's got the Omega Lock, which is surprisingly the most expensive part of this, which I didn't get down. So this is technically my second version of this figure, because there's like 10 releases of this figure. I got the special release, so I got this Omega Supreme cheap on eBay because it didn't have the Omega Lock. So here's my Omega Lock that I had as a kid from my original Primus. This works still. The battery still works, surprisingly. Because surprisingly, there are batteries in this, but there are batteries in this. And so you see the red LED light that popped up? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But you have to have this to transform it. So this thing's like stupidly expensive. And if anybody can find, I know I can get this Cyberplanet key in gold for like $10, 10 to $20 on eBay, which is not a bad price. He only came with the giant star screen, which didn't make my list, but should have. Last second honorable mention to this big bastard. Oh my god. Look at him. Like,
that thing's huge.
He's so massive. And God, give me Commander class Cybertron Starscream. Just make it the Voyager mold, but make it this big, because that's all this is. This is the original mold, but big. I take it. I would do it. But I'll show you everything it came with. The version that I had as a kid. Also, besides this, if anybody, I was saying, anybody that has this right here, a gold one of these, please let me know. I can't even find one on eBay. He only came with Scourge. He only came with the regular version of Scourge. So, like, I have the Cryotech version, and he came with this key. But the gold one only came with the normal one. So, like, all of the other keys, like, you can get this with, like, this one came with Override, and they released Override twice. So it's really easy to get. This one is from Metroplex. So I had that one. But, like, these two I never got. So if anybody has a lead on specifically the Animal Planet key, let me know. He also came with this, which is Unicron's head.
Unicron.
That came in the that shows up in the show because technically Cybertron is an alternate universe. Armada, all of the Unicron trilogy is an alternate universe to the G1 universe, kind of. So this comes with like a wormhole type thing because this is the G1 Unicron head, technically speaking. But that's why, like, they have, like, there's references to G1, but it's not G1. It's because there's a different timeline because Vector Prime exists, basically.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole bit. It's like Vector Prime exists so every Transformers universe is connected. That was, like, their idea. And then the last thing it came with is this. And this is a belt clip that was... So mine was specifically the 25th anniversary Primus. And he's got this little Autobot badge that I keep on my desk. And this battery has never been changed and still works.
That's crazy.
Oh, we're going to get copyrighted. It's got G1 Optimus.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
And he's got one that's a movie version for some... be stopped no matter the cost. Like that version is from the movies for some reason, which is funny because this release is from 2006, so this is in here before the movie came out but after the trailers came out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like that voice line is from the trailer. But it's really funny because this is Cybertron Primus, and you don't use the Cybertron Optimus Prime voice actor for any of the voice things. You only use Peter Cullen. So it's such a weird...
but that does make sense, though, so...
Yeah. But, like, these two are such, like, weird accessories. And I've seen this stupid thing go for, like, $80 or more for just a Unicron, like, head. But he's also got, like, this terrifying, like... inner skeleton looking thing, which is great.
Yeah, like a Terminator thing happening.
Yeah, which is weird because like this is definitely an alternate timeline Unicron because this is not what his head looks like at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
because he's got both eyes. This is like I think there's concept art of this. Like this is what it was gonna look like when it like Unicron was supposed to show back up like this at some point, I think. And so they use that as like an inspiration. And I would love if they brought this back. If you're gonna do a HasLab of Primus, have this be one of the stretch goals. You know what I'm saying? Like I think this is gonna be a stretch goal if I had to guess. The Omega Lock, which is dumb. Yeah. It shouldn't be. It should be standard. But I think what will probably happen is they'll be like, it's the Omega log. Oh, you want the Cyber Planet keys to go in it like in the show? Guess what? It's a stretch goal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they do it.
But that's
they'll do something like that.
But that's my number one. I do have one thing that I wanted to mention that I think you also have. I don't know if you have him out or not. I only bought one third-party figure this year. I don't know how many you got, but we both bought this figure. This is Mod Fan's Roller. I don't remember what his name actually is, but it's Roller. I specifically have the IDW colored one. I think you have the blue. Mm-hmm. You have the blue or the silver. So you have the blue one. Mod Fans, of all the third-party companies right now, they're the one I'm looking at the most.
Well, but figure, they only have two things, so.
yeah. Well, they have a leak for a new thing, but currently their only two offerings are this figure and a new head for Fort Max, which is a little undersized, which makes me think that maybe they're planning on making their own version, or maybe they had it in mind for like a different third-party figure, but they were like, "Oh, we'll make it compatible with the Hasbro release because why not?" You know.
Yeah.
But this guy's great. He feels great. The plastic feels good. He's the cost of a Voyager?
Yeah, he's like $30.
He's like $30. Diecast.
For everything you got with him. I mean, and listen, the.
Oh yeah, like
those ratchets, and there's no hollowness anywhere on him.
No, he's got some weight to him.
It's great.
Here he is next to a Voyager. I think personally he looks the best with 86 Optimus. I think they look great together. He can haul that trailer perfectly. Actually, it works with the Earthrise version, but the new trailer actually fits him a lot better, and he can fit in the trailer because it's big enough. So that's definitely worth noting. I will say you do have to fold in the wheels to get him in the trailer, but whatever, he fits in the trailer. That's good enough for me because he is a Voyager-sized robot of a figure that we will never get from Hasbro probably unless it's like some retool of something. Because Roller's only a character in the comics, right?
Yeah, aside from just being like a little drone guy, as far as I know.
Yeah,
so.
Like the only time he turns into a robot is in the comics. So like, Mod Fans, definitely one of the third-party companies I would look out for. Only figure I've gotten from them, but for the price, if they can make qualities this good for the price, I will 100% go on whatever they do next. I don't know what their next plans are, but like ankle tilts, toe tilts, he's got all the posing you would ever want from him. He's not super panely. I mean, I could sing his praises all day, but I think you and I both agree that this guy's just fantastic.
Yeah, he's great. All right, let's bump it along to top 5 releases this year. We'll try to knock through this a little bit quicker.
Okay. Can I do you my top 5 most surprising? Did you do your? Because we talked about that.
I didn't do a top 5 most surprising, but I do have something to say about the top 5 list in general.
Okay.
There are some things that I probably could have put on it.
Same.
But I didn't for the reasons that they are redecos or retools. Like, I think this is great. I love this. I love the colors. I love the retooling. I love everything on this. This is great, but I didn't put it on my list because this is a retool, a recolor, retool, and the third version of this mold. He's worth it. He's worth putting on there, but again, like, this has been done, so I wanted to do my top 5 list as molds that actually came out this year. And while I was trying to figure that list out, I was like, man, like almost everything came from something else this year, aside from pretty much the things that I have on my list. Like, most things are from something else. I was really going to, this was going to be on my list because, again, Master Force is one of my favorite shows. I was going to put Cancer on there. I love him. I think his deco is great. They finally got him. He comes with Browning. He comes with his little gun, like in the show. He's Giga and Mega give him anyhow. They give him a little gun, and the little gun's name is Browning, and it transforms, and he comes with Browning. I think that's a cool thing. And the headmaster is got the nice, beautifully painted visor, and we finally got an updated version of Squeeze Play, or Cancer as they call him in Master Force. Love the figure. Think it's great. Again, couldn't put it on there because it's a retool. I wouldn't have put it on the list, but I really like Quake.
I also really like Quake. I didn't think I would.
Quake is a big retool. Can't do it. What's his face? What's her face here? I done forgot her name. Purple Crow. This deco is beautiful, and this bot mode is beautiful. I mean, and Air Razor is still a beautiful mold, but I think this almost rivals just the tonality of it. Love this figure. Again, retool of something. And aside from that, I mean, we had Recolor Retool. Couldn't put him on there. I wanted to, but
Recolor Retool.
Another thing, these are pretty great too. They're not the best, but Recolor Retool. Recolor Retool in the same year it was released.
That's insane. Like 3 months apart.
Yeah. Let's see. Unique mold. I kind of like it, but then more Recolor Retool. It's just.
I got rid of my core class Rock Lords. I did have. They didn't have a spot.
Yeah. Windblade.
Oh yeah, Windblade came out.
Windblade is a unique figure. This would be an honorable mention for actually new molds this year. So Windblade would be an honorable mention.
I'll put.
But again, Cliff Jumper.
Stream?
Let's see, Cliff Jumper, Recolor Retool. Well, there he goes off the side of the desk. I haven't gotten Slipstream yet.
I gave her the sword from Windblade because it looks better with her.
Yeah.
But
so I say all that. So that's
made a great point.
I wanted to throw that out before we actually get into the our top 5 for the year, just to say that this, and I hadn't thought about that until I started doing this, and I was like, man, we got everything that was already something, which is kind of weird to me. So,
but that's every year. Like you think about like how many times we get this mold quote like, so I'm okay with it. Like, because we got these two last year of a mold that's like 5 years old at this point, and we're still getting more. So that's fine. I'm going to go through mine real quick. At number 5, this is most surprising. These are what I put the retools in, like you just did. So my list was Comic Bludgeon. We got Bludgeon and Tarn last year, and we got a Bludgeon and Tarn this year. And guess what? I own all 4 versions of this mold, and they're all great. And I want to get rid of them, but I can't because they're all great. And it's so hard because they all have such a unique purpose. Like, the 2 Bludgeons are different enough that I can justify them as different characters. And the 2 Tarns, I can justify one as Tarn, and Tarn has like a clone from the Cyberverse show, so I can justify that in my collection. That's just how good that mold is. My next one on that list is actually Scorponok up here. I got Scorponok this year for a good price to go with my Black Xeric. I think Black Xeric is better than Scorponok personally, just because Black Redeco with gold, come on. Also, the fact that Black Xeric exists is kind of insane on its own. So Scorponok is good, but having gotten Black Xeric first, that's obviously, you know how it goes. Like sometimes you just get like recency bias, or like what you get first is like what you kind of latch onto. My number 3 was Ferrak, of course. We talked about how good one of your tops of last year actually was Metal Hawk, which we got better Metal Hawk this year too, which is actually already on sale. You can go pick him up for like $15 if you want, which I highly recommend.
$10, I think, on Amazon right now.
Yeah. So if you don't own Metal Hawk and you want the Cyclonus mold is one of the best. So Ferrak you can get cheap, and that you can get cheap. So I highly recommend.
Yeah, you can get Ferrak for like $10 right now too.
And
it's great.
Him or Metal Hawk, pick one. They're both going to be great. The the Cyclonus mold is just good. My next up, I had Cancer on my list. He's great. He's a great retool and recolor, and give me Fangray again. Damn it!
Yeah, just to and just to like say that again, like it's amazing that this thing came from what it came from.
Yeah, like you would never know this is Rat Bat.
Or Mind Wipe. Yeah,
Mind Wipe.
No, there's it's like it's complete insanity that like that's.
I've
why
had five shots.
I would have put it on that because of that stuff, but it's like, and even the way this head hangs from the back, that's how it is in the show. I mean, they put a lot of care into this figure, a lot, even so much I didn't even realize them now. But like they've got the colors across the chest that are like the
tech specs,
the bar and stuff. Yeah, so it's yeah. Sorry, I wanted to throw that in since you were on him as well.
No, it's great. It's fantastic. I'm glad that we get to talk about him because that's the thing. It's the 40th anniversary. I knew that this stream was going to kind of go long just because it's the 40th anniversary. There's just so many figures to go over this year. There's like me and Zach have collected probably easily over 200 different figures this year. And there's just no way we can go over all of them. So I just want to make sure we hit some highlights of like some of these figures because like this guy could be so easily overlooked as Ferrak. Like because like Ferrak is like a nothing character. He's one of the the Star Raiders and everything. But it's like this he's so good. Just a slight retool, a new head, and this thing just pops. So I'm going to move to my, I talked about Cancer. That's my number 2. Obviously a very heavy retool of Mind Wipe. You would never know. He's so fun in both molds. He's so different. He's so weird and outside the norm of Transformers that I just love him. And I already mentioned him before, but my number 1 for like my most surprising for this year was Cannonball from the Star Raiders. Because this is like the 5th version of this mold we've gotten, the Skids mold, which was by all accounts very underwhelming. What is it? Skids, the black version, the silver version,
Skids,
crankcase,
crosscut,
crankcase,
medics. It's the 6th
medics, 6th version of this mold. And to retool it, to give him a new head, a new front, a new like side decos, roof, cyber planet key. The fact that they took the pre-existing molding and put his accessories in his legs and they work. Oh my god, they fill out the hollowness. That's such a beautiful use of extra like attention to detail. Obviously, he's not exactly the same as the Cybertron version, but this is a toy. This was just a toy-only figure. Like, Cannonball exists in the Star Raiders comics and nowhere else. This character was never in the show, and it's so rare that we get, like, a character, like a toy-only character, like, nowadays. Like, we were talking, like, you talked about, like we're talking about Crankcase and, like, the other ones, and it's like, yeah, Crankcase is a character, but like we're not getting this version of Crankcase. We're not gonna get that truck that you were talking about. He's not getting a new legacy figure. So the fact that this figure exists at all in now is insane. So it's like that's what's for everything that we complain about. Every now and again, we get things like this that make it worth it.
Yeah,
like this is where it's fun. All right, you ready to get into the meat and potatoes?
All right. Yep. So,
2024.
Counting down from 5 for
Transformers 40th anniversary.
Yep, my top 5. One that really surprised me because I knew I was always going to get it, but I did not think that I would like it as much as I ended up liking it. And I did not think it was going to work as well as it does. And even I think if you look at pictures of it and you're not handling it, it still probably doesn't look like it would be the best or that good at all. And one of his brethren was on our list last year. It's my number 5 was Wheeljack here. I really ended up liking this a lot more. This is, of course, annoying. Oh, I forgot to put his little wingy things up. It's been standing on my shelf for like almost a year without those things up. This is pretty terrible, but it still kind of amazes me that how it doesn't really break the silhouette if you from the front. Like, it's terrible, but it's, I don't know, it surprised me, and that's gonna be my number 5 pick, just because, like I said, he
just
really
is.
wowed me. He really wowed me, and just to be panels, it's not as bad. I even said it in my review. I was like, this isn't as egregious as I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to take one more, just because this is going to be fun. And it's the 40th anniversary, so this is me pouring one out to the 40th anniversary. It's been a good year for Transformers. I'm like we said, we were talking about how we might be a little worried. Like, there's some good stuff coming next year, but also there's some things that look a little bit of a downgrade. So if this was the let's just say if this was the peak of Transformers for the while, that it was a good year. So cheers.
Trying to. Okay,
all right.
Get it to do what I wanted to do. Anyway,
we think so much alike, and yet we are so different. My number 5, also Origins Wheeljack. I have mine in alt mode because
that's the best, man. That's the best.
Once again, this is just a testament to how good we don't get to hang out that much, but we are good friends, and I think we think very much alike, even when we're not. Because I knew you'd have yours in robot mode, so I kept mine in alt mode. He's so good. He's so fun. He shouldn't work. We talked about Jazz last year. Origin B is getting a re-release next year. If you haven't gotten it, go for it. Absolutely go for it. This thing shouldn't work. He shouldn't exist. He shouldn't be able to do what he does, where you can fit Bumblebee in him. He fits the Energon rods. He's got the stupid drill bits. He's got this stupid thing that clips on the front. He's got the green. He's everything that should not work about Transformers. He's so dumb. He's a one episode. He's literally on screen for like 2 minutes. And that's it. And here he is in my hand. And I love that so much. And to turn into the fact that he could just be this. Like, I think if you gave me a static figure of Wheeljack as this that didn't transform, I'd be okay with it, because I'd be like, how the hell are you going to turn this into Wheeljack that looks like he turns into his car mode? Because that's what he is. That's what Bumblebee that's what any of them look like. They don't have Cybertronian robot modes. They look exactly the same as they do normally.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he looks anything like he's supposed to is incredible, because he goes from being a van to being a sports car in Earth. Like, at least Bumblebee and Jazz are like enough that you could kind of morph and contort and hide some faux parts, but like, this thing has to do so much mass shifting, it's insane. And they nailed it. And he mostly lives in alt mode for me, but I think his robot mode is just as good. And I might even argue that his robot mode, in some ways, looks better than the Earthrise version. I think his head sculpt is better. I don't know how different his head sculpt is, but I think his head sculpt is better on on this version.
So yeah, I think I'm with you there. I think I like the Cybertronian one as well better than
like, obviously he's a chunky boy, but like, I don't know how else you were gonna get that any better. Also, this is one of those figures that comes in at that weird price point of like, people are like, he's a deluxe, and I'm like, yeah, he's a deluxe, but he's a Voyager. He's a Voyager in complexity.
Yeah.
And
tooling and engineering.
I get why people get so up in arms about like size to price things, but I don't really care about size to price. I care about quality to price. Yeah, and this is quality to price. Yeah, this is quality to price. Also, it's got the blast shield, which is dumb, and he can become wings. And it can become a track. Like, they didn't have to include that, but they did. And I appreciate it. So, in agreement. So, all right,
number 4. Let me get him down here. Number
all right,
4.
With shot number 6, I'm starting to feel it.
Number 4, and something that we actually one of our unboxings for this year, and it's because it really surprised the heck out of me, and I haven't messed with it since the last time I put it in its all mode. But I found myself just really enjoying posing this figure. Everything it can do. I balked at the price when it originally came out, and I'm still like, I don't like how much it cost, but then after seeing everything that it can do, I'm like, okay, I can get it. That being said, I got mine for like $20-something because they put this thing on sale like 1 million times in a row. I think Kyle and Lee will probably like this one, and it is Party Wallop. Another one that really surprised me. I really, really enjoyed this figure. It really shocks me that, I mean, again, like I didn't want to pay that for it, but it is well worth that $50, and I could even argue could be more just because of what they made this. I mean, they made this spot on the turtle van and all the little extra things like the grill popping off and it being a little pizza. That didn't have to be done. That's just cute.
I'm running
all of these little extra things, they're movable. They're extra little pieces with the guns moving up and down. Everything stores in every mode, which on van mode, the stores kind of stick out a little bit, but everything folds up and stores in here. I just, again, this one hits my list because it surprised me, and it's really good. It's really fun to be just a chunk, just to be like a square. It just like Wheeljack. It comes out and it poses like actually really, really great. So it really surprised me more than I thought I was going to. I didn't think I was going to like this. I mean, I was a huge Turtles fan when I was a kid. So it's kind of like I want, part of me wants to get, 4 of these and have all 4 of the Turtles. And I'm probably could catch it up on sale again and still get them all. But yeah, just a very surprising, a very surprising figure. I fully expected not to even like this and just to have it for a second and to pass on. There's a lot of things I've popped out that I've passed on. I've sold because I just don't care about them anymore. But yeah, it's great.
I'm so glad that he made your list. He's such a fun figure. I haven't got him yet. But dang, is like up the collabs. Like, I picked up the Ghostbusters one this year, and while I love that figure, it's really kind of like it barely holds together. Like it can barely stand up. Like its knees are so weak.
Which one is that?
The Ghostbusters one.
Oh yeah.
But like I also have the DeLorean. I picked that one up this year. I think that one's fantastic. I still think the DeLorean's maybe the best collab figure we've gotten so far, though I will say I've seen some reviews on the Stranger Things one, and I think that might be the best, honestly, like figure-wise. Like, maybe not the best collab, but the best figure on its own. It can fit into perfectly into Chug lineup of like, but the Turtle Van having 5 different modes that it can do. Besides the alt mode, like being like the normal turtle mode, like the generic turtle, and then doing all 4 individual turtles, having all of their weapons. Like I know people complain because they're like, oh, you gotta buy 4 or you gotta buy 5 to get the whole set. But it's like, what were they gonna do? What would you have rather them have done? Like, because they can't just make 4 turtle vans. Like there's not enough turtle vehicle modes to make one for each. So this is the best solution, and it looks great in both modes, and it works.
Worked great.
And it's got all kinds of Easter eggs and just fun.
And the small things about, that you can pop this up, and it's just got a little rotating thing to change the belt. I mean, those are just small things that, again, I didn't want to pay $50 for this, but do I think this was well worth that price and maybe even a little more? I mean, 100%, like 100%.
If you can get it on
a
sale,
little more.
and you can get it on sale pretty easily. From what I found, I think you got yours on sale, and I've seen my Walmart has them on sale, and I'm waiting for it to go back on sale so I can pick one up because they have they have several, but it's that full price point. I don't know if I want to pay the full price.
Yeah.
But if I can get one for like 40 or less, I'm absolutely picking one up because he looks so fun. And I'm not even the biggest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan. Like I grew up and I enjoyed it, but like he's just fun. And like sometimes that's all I want. It's just sometimes I don't need a figure to be a certain character or anything. I just need it to be fun. And the Turtles van is just that. It's just fun. And sometimes that's all you need. Like some of the figures that came out this year that didn't make my list, like they're good, but they're not fun. Like I'll give an example of this. This is a Hot Rod. This is Cybertron Hot Rod. By all intents and purposes, it should make my list, right?
Yep, you should love that thing.
I should love this thing, but it's just the original toy with ankle tilts, and that's fine. Yep. But it doesn't do anything that like.
That's how I feel about this. I should love this, but I'm like, it's good, but it just didn't hit like I thought it was going to.
We got Swoop, Party Wop, and Sandstorm. Those are all great choices for figures, and I'm surprised Sandstorm didn't make my list. Sandstorm is good. I think Sandstorm we got so early on that he just kind of fell off a little bit. But okay, are you ready for what are we on? What are we at?
This is number 4.
Number 4. Sorry, I've had a lot to drink at this point. This is what this is like what, isn't it? This is what you came for. I will say my last year, my number 5 was animated Prowl. So no question as to why this guy. We sang this guy's praises. You talked about him. It's animated Bumblebee. It's animated Bumblebee. It was always going to be, wasn't it? Like he's got to make the list. Like Animated Prime made the list last year. Animated Prowl made the list. Animated Prime probably should make this list more, but like Motormaster, but like this guy's so good and he has no right to be. Like he has no right to be as good as he is. Except my only complaint about him is that his stupid blaster things, I wish the pegs weren't as long, or I wish the indents in the body were slightly deeper so they would hold in better. Yeah,
that is, and that's weird.
That's my one singular complaint I can have for this figure, and if that's the only complaint I can have about a figure, that's pretty damn good. I think my other complaint was that at the time I talked about, I wish he wasn't this like smoky clear plastic. I wish he was an opaque plastic. I wish he was just black plastic. I think that would look better and more like the animation model because they're opaque in the show for the most part. Like he's just black, like the original. Because I will, the only animated figure I ever had as a kid is Animated B. This is the one figure I ever got. It came in a 3-pack with Classics B and one of the Movieverse Bs. And so this is the only animated like experience I had. So the having a new version in hand felt very special because as a kid, I didn't like animated. Like having B, I didn't like him as a toy. I thought he was fiddly and panely, and I didn't like how he converted. And I still hold by that today. That this, like a lot of the animated figures, they look really, really good, but some of their transformations are just a little too fiddly. Kind of like some of the live action movies, but this new Legacy version does it so smoothly. Also, he fits in perfectly if you have any of the Titans Returns figures. I think he like scales perfectly with these guys.
Yeah, listen to the Scout class or whatever they were then. Yeah. No, B was a good one. I think technically he and Prime technically came out this year, but we actually got my Prime in on when we were doing our stream last year. So he didn't make my list.
He didn't make my list either. Neither did Motormaster. Those are both great figures.
He didn't make my list for the reason. Well, I'll just move on. He made my list for a reason.
He didn't make my list because of a reason also, and we'll talk about it.
Yep. And so we'll move on to the next one, which the placement of this guy might be controversial. And I know you and I talked at length about it, but my number 3 is Studio Series 86 Prime. Oh. And the figures that come after him, it's probably going to be weird reasoning for some folks, but I don't care.
That's okay.
He's good. He's good.
For a lot of people, he's probably their favorite figure of the year, as it should be.
Yeah. Now, and with all rights, he's great. Cleans up great. I messed with him the other day again. I was like, yeah, this is good. I had qualms about the pricing on him, just because his transformation. I don't feel it is as complex as the reason they sold it for it having to be the Commander class price. I still don't believe that. I still think he could have been a $70 figure and been fine, and he's good. And but also I kind of wish he was a little slimmer here. Like so, yep. That's my number 3.
Okay, that's 100% fair. 86 Prime did not make my list. And 86 Prime did not make my list for one reason and one reason only, and that's I love Earthrise Prime so much. I was talking earlier about figures that I got on trips. Vacation we went on to Tennessee with my dad and my stepmom and my wife. I went to an antique mall, and in the antique mall they had a booth, and he just happened to have a bunch of Transformers, and he had a sealed Kingdom Optimus Prime, and this was like 2 years after Kingdom Optimus Prime came out. So to get one cheap, I picked it up, and I first Optimus Prime I had in my collection since Classics Optimus Prime, which is like 2006, like first G1 Optimus Prime. I should say I had Movie Prime and stuff like that, but like to have a G1 Optimus Prime, like Kingdom really hit the nail on the head so hard. And I think Studio 86 Prime is a huge step up. I love it. He's a mini masterpiece. Like people throw that out. It's absolutely true. He's great. But the thing about him is just like he's like a half step up. You know what I'm saying? Like Kingdom Prime. If Kingdom Prime's
wheels would have hidden like the Siege version did, then it would be pretty close.
If Kingdom Prime wasn't such a good figure, I would love 86 Prime more. And that's the issue. 86 Prime is not a bad figure. I think even the price is fine because he's just Rodimus again. If Rodimus can be that price, Optimus can be that price. I think they're pretty much the same. I love him. He's great. I like him more than Kingdom Prime. I like Studio Series Prime more than Kingdom Prime. But I don't know. Maybe in time I will learn to love him, but right now he's just fine. He exists and I'm happy I have him. And if you don't have a Prime, I absolutely recommend him. But if you want a little bit of a cheaper option and you can get Kingdom Prime, I think he has a re-release coming up, doesn't he? Or he already did.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you want to save $50 and get a decent Prime, I don't think you can go wrong with Kingdom Prime. That's the only reason 86 didn't make my list. What's my number? What are we on? Number 3. My number 3 is my only retools on my list this year. And I think you pointed them out earlier. And that is Chop Chop and Barrage. Absolutely love these figures. I liked the Insecticons for what they were. They are good figures. They are definitely G1 Insecticons. They are kind of boring. That's just what it is. But these guys should not be as good as they are. Goodness gracious. The colors, the retooling, the posability, just the vibe that these guys bring is just so good. Also, I don't have the hammer that they came with. He's back there being held by 86 Magnus. Surprisingly, I don't have a commander on my list this year as one of my favorites. Whereas last year we had 2 different commanders as our number ones. Did you know that? Last year
Magnus
you had
and
um
Armada.
what's the other one?
Optimus, yeah.
Armada Optimus.
Magnus and Armada Optimus.
Those were our number twos. Those were both our number twos last year. No commanders this year. What's the one for this year? It's Magmatron.
Mm-hmm.
Magmatron is our only commander this year, right?
Magmatron, yep, and Prime.
Magmatron and Prime. Prime is great. I don't have a commander on my list. I didn't get Magmatron. I know he's good, but like, I don't know. He's just not for me. But these guys, look at those colors. Like, come on. Also, I keep them in front of, you'll think this is funny, I keep them in front of the two bludgeons because, like, tell me those two guys don't go together.
Well, they are in the same series. So,
so like, and then those two guys go together, and then these two guys go together perfectly. Like,
yeah.
So it's just like, I don't know. They're kind of dumb. They're retools, but like, this is one of those times where, like Cannonball, a retool excels the original figure. You know?
I agree.
So, it's kind of a cop out. I tried not to put any retools or recolors, but like, when they do this good, it deserves its spotlight.
All right. Number 2?
Yep, number 2.
Okay. Number 2 is Magmatron.
Just speaking of, you got both commanders, and I got no commanders in my list this year. That's funny.
Well, again, part of it was because some stuff I couldn't put on the list. Like, so one of these would have probably gotten bumped if Cancer could have been put on the list. And actually, one of these would have got bumped over the other ones, over like a Party Wallop or something. But man, I got this guy down again, and first off, he is a chunk. He is a hoss of a figure, and he is 3 different things. I love this as a kid, and it's just like, it is a straight update. I mean, everything almost works exactly the same. But I just think it's a great figure. I love the colorations on it. It's a ridiculous concept in general. Got opening hands. His sword is little blaster sword thing's cool, and I don't know. He just, you talked about vibe just now on your Insecticons, and that's part of him too. There's just a certain vibe he has, and I really wasn't super down for him at first because I was worried he was going to be stiff. But I mean, his head, like, magically, you got to get a bunch of junk out of the way. But even being on here, like, he does have a head turn. It's just, it's amazing what they did for this. And that's why also Prime gets bumped down, because they did all this for the same price point as Prime. So I'm like,
and
that's where I'm not buying it. There's a lot more stuff going into this, and I know there's a lot of little fun, neat tweaks on Prime and how his sides changed and all that kind of junk and all that kind of. But
I'm still mad he didn't paint his chest.
Yeah, they have to smash together and make sense and articulate. That's the thing. Like, this thing actually articulates and moves, which is a feat. And it's three different things, and it can be that weird third mode too that I'm not messing with.
Yeah, no one wants the third mode. I did see someone mention that this is the only true combiner we have currently, because these 3 things that combine together and not like a skeleton. Yeah, and I think that's pretty insane. So until 86, Devi comes out, this is the only combiner we've had in since Combiner Wars. That's like a true combiner. That's like that figures that don't connect to a skeleton, because that's 3 alt modes that connect into one. Unless you want to count something like Flywheels as like a combiner, because he's 2 figures that slap me. And you can, that's fine. But he's great. He's a great figure. If I cared anything about like the Beast Wars 2nd, or like if I had any connection to that character, I would probably have picked him up. He's the only commander to date I don't have. I have there's Shattered Glass, Jetfire. I have regular Jetfire. There's all of those. He's the only commander I don't have, and I don't super regret that. But dang, is he a good figure? And if I had any desire for that figure at all, I would absolutely get him because I love the T-Rex mode. I love the pterodactyl mode. I love the Loch Ness monster. That's so fun because I play Apex a lot, and their like mascot is this little Nessie character right here, which is so adorable. And so I love that. I love that figure. I'm glad it made your list because that's one that didn't make mine, and just kind of like a little bit off my radar. But like, I have you have those figures that it's like it's not for you, but like you really appreciate that it exists. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I feel about like a lot of the studio series, like the really good like Beast Wars character, or not Beast Wars, like Rise of the Beast characters, like the studio series. Like some of those are really, really good, and I'm glad those exist for those people that really want those, even though they're not for me. So where are we at?
This is Rise of the Beast Scourge, and this is actually the buy-we version of it that came with a bunch of upgrade kits and was way cheaper and way better, I'd argue. And yeah, he's a cool figure, and he converts in a really cool way. So yeah, kind of your point, like, I'm glad they exist too, and I just picked him up because, I don't know, I thought he was neat, he was cheap, and had some Shozy points. But yeah, all right, number 2. What's your number 2?
I mean, you put one Optimus Prime on the list, I'm gonna have to put the other Optimus Prime on the list. I'm going to put Legacy Toy Deluxe Optimus Prime on my list. A figure that I did not pre-order. I did not get super excited for anything like that. It was just, I went to a local shop, and he happened to have him and Quake. You mentioned Quake earlier, which is a great figure. I didn't think I was going to like that figure either, because I already had the Titans Return version, which I also got this year. God, we've picked up so many figures this year. I don't even want to count how many things I bought this year, how much money I've spent.
About 100 for me. Like,
it's easily in like 80 range for me. But this guy right here, if you don't want to spend the money on Missing Link, if you don't want the trailer, if you want just the perfect G1 Optimus Prime toy update, this is it. I don't know how to, but if they can release this in a million colors, I will buy every single one like it's the Sideswipe mold. Have you picked up this figure at all yet?
I have not.
The only thing I dislike is when the transformation, you have to flip his arm down and then flip it around to transform it. That's how his hand goes in. And there's a really thin piece of plastic that's on. And it makes me nervous about like the longevity of that, like how long that will last. Yeah. But that's it. That's the only worry. That's the only complaint I have. He comes with, he's already for the same price as what's that toy? What's the game version the studio series version we looked at earlier? The Devastation. Yeah. He's got, not only does he have an axe like that one does, but unlike that one, he also has a unique Matrix and a new mold for the Matrix ? For the first time in I don't know how long. Like since Armada Prime, I think Armada Prime has his own unique Matrix. Yeah. This one has a unique Matrix in clear blue. He has a better clear axe, and not only does he have the show gun, he has the toy gun. The face, the clear plastic, the alt mode, the fact that you can hook up G1 Optimus Prime's trailer, the fact that you could hook up Kingdom Optimus Prime's trailer, the fact that all his accessories store in alt mode, the fact that he has all sorts of articulation on a deluxe class. This is the we got how many Optimus Primes this year?
Oh man, I didn't even count them.
And this one, like, we got re-releases of Kingdom, we got Shattered Glass, we got Armada, we got Armada was technically they did do a second release on Armada Prime, I think, so that technically counts. But we did so many Primes this year, and this one just I don't know why. And I think it's because I did get G1 Optimus Prime this year. And you notice G1 Optimus Prime didn't make that list. And that's just because the one I have is a little bit in shambles and not perfect. But I think that's okay because I did have a G1 Optimus Prime as a kid. And it was in shambles. And so that feels very comforting. But this is like... This is what I would think of like when you thought of how your toys looked as a kid. This is it. This is like what you thought Optimus Prime was as a toy as a kid. In the way that I wish this was. This didn't make the list because I wanted it to be more. This did it. This succeeded in being what I wanted it to be. And I think I'm going to get the DNA upgrade kit for this guy, and he'll make it even better. But this, for $25, to have something that I think is as good as the Missing Link version, having messed with your Missing Link version, dang. The fact that this this should probably be by number one, but something beat it out over with nostalgic. But dang, if you haven't picked this guy up, or if you've been on the fence, I cannot recommend this guy enough. I picked him up loose for $20, and I love him, and I am kind of disappointed in myself that I wrote him off so easily because I was like, we just got Missing Link. What can this guy do that's better? And I think he doesn't particularly do anything better than Missing Link, but he's not worse than Missing Link, if that makes sense.
The only thing he does better than Missing Link is be cheaper.
Yeah. Well, but like he has all these accessories and like this good paint quality, and like, yeah, he doesn't have chrome or die cast or anything, but like this is how modern figures are made. Like, you can't put Missing Link Optimus Prime on your shelf with your Studio Series 86 Prime and those look like they belong together. But I can put this next to 86 Prime, and while he's not the same, I could make some kind of argument that like he's an alternate universe Prime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. Let's bump on to number one. One figure that neither one was put on our list, and I have not opened this, but I've only messed with yours, and I thought it was really good. But it is a Cybertron Starscream. It's a pretty good figure. This just went into my closet, and he's just there. I haven't had the occasion to open him. He's just there. He's in the closet. I know he's really good.
Is that an honorable mention, or is that number one?
This is just I forgot about this.
I forgot about this.
Forgot that it was good. So I thought I'd throw that out there. So my number one, can you guess what number one is?
I can't actually. I'm looking forward to seeing what your number one is.
Well, it goes back to what I was saying a while ago. Why Animated Prime didn't go on the list, because some stuff kind of beat him, but also I couldn't have 3 Optimus Primes on the list, and it is followed up by yours, which is Optimus Prime, and for all the reasons we gushed about when I opened this guy, and that's what made me think about like, what is my number one figure this year, and it's because this was a whole experience of getting him out of the box, and then it being the same styrofoam tray, and the way it was packed in, and you open it up, and the trailer's got the same. It was the whole everything about that was a G1 Optimus Prime with all this extra articulation and the axe that actually cups around the entire hand, and he's got metal in him, and it's back chrome, and for the first time ever, this Optimus Prime gets a Matrix, which is also his own version of a Matrix there.
Yeah.
And it is G1 Optimus Prime.
Is it his like gold? Is his like green chromed or something?
Yeah, no, his is gold chrome. Yeah.
Gold chrome. The Sentinel is green chrome, and I kind of want the Sentinel version. It's on Big Bad Toy Store, and I keep looking at it because, as we've established, we like having similar collections but slightly different. And so you have Missing Link Prime, so I can't get Missing Link Prime. I have to get the Sentinel Prime.
Yeah, but just as you said with Budget Link over there, like, he does everything you wanted Optimus Prime to do as a kid. But he's like with like that. I mean, that's just it. He does everything you wanted it to do as a kid, and it couldn't do because I mean the engineering wasn't there at the time.
Exactly.
Just a complete marvel. Far exceeded my expectations. I thought it ever would. And I actually have the 40th anniversary Optimus Prime because I went ahead and picked him up from Walmart because he was cheap. I don't know, but now I have actually a G1 Prime and the missing link. But yeah, I mean that's it. It's I don't think it could be anything else other than that. I don't think anything else this year. I don't think anything else this year did anything better than this did. For what it was, for the uniqueness of it, for the nostalgia of it, and down to the packaging and boxing for all that. So.
I 100% agree. That's great. That's a fantastic number one choice. I don't think you could have picked anything better, honestly. And I think my choice is going to be a little bit biased. But I 100% think that definitely deserves a spot. And the only reason it's not on my list is because I don't have it. And if I do, I'll probably get the Sentinel Prime version just because it's fun and unique and a little weird because he's a yellow, Optimus Prime. That's more fun to me with that weird kryptonite green matrix for some reason. And the fact that I got this one and that I got to mess with your Missing Link Prime and that this made me feel that same way. And I think that's important because as a kid, I never had a G1 Optimus Prime. I do now. He's sitting over there. What's funny is that my G1 Optimus Prime that I had was the 20th anniversary edition. That was like a Walmart edition. And I sold that at some point, but I still have the roller and I still had his hands. And I don't know why I still had those. I guess I didn't include them. They got lost in a box or whatever. So my G1 Optimus Prime over there is missing the roller and the hands. So I just happened to get one that had the same things that I was missing. And so that made it a little extra special. And what's funny is he's missing his gun. But coincidentally, this version of Prime comes with two guns. And they're 5mm. And they work with G1 Prime. And so that just... I mean, he's perfect. He is... I mean, Missing Link Optimus Prime for the 40th anniversary. Could you go wrong?
No, I feel it's kind of too much of a gimme, but at the same time, you can't argue,
Well, that's me picking this guy for, it's like that. It's, but mine is going to be a little different. It's very biased, but we talked last year about how much we enjoyed Bludgeon and Tarn, and not even so much for the alt mode, but just in how good the robot mode is, and how good the articulation is, the accessories, the engineering in general. Because something like this isn't so much the engineering is good, but like it's fun and it's unique, and it's a weird color and a weird character, and that kind of sells it. But sometimes you need a good figure to sell you. And this year, you saw it earlier. He's sitting back here. It's going to be Legacy Cybertron Starscream.
That's why I wasn't on your list yet, and that's why you laughed about that. So
yeah, that's why I laughed, because you brought him out and you talked about him. He deserves a mention because like last year, like we talked about Tarn, this guy, buttery smooth posing. You can get him into any pose you want to get him. He comes with a cyber key. The way that for better, like you don't have to parts form his wings back here if you don't want to, but you can and make them look even better because these are built-in thrusters, and you can just take these out. So if you want to have like thrusters back here, you can. He comes with a new cyber key, a weapon. He's got the flip-out blades. He does every bit of posing I could ever want him to do. And talking earlier about like having the catalogs as a kid of like seeing the figures. Thundercracker was the very first one I ever got. One of the Seekers. I had Thundercracker. I had Skywarp. I never had Starscream. And Starscream is such a big part of the Cybertron show, and just never being able to get that figure in any capacity, because like there's a core version, there's a regular deluxe version, and then there's the giant version, and just being able to have a new version of that supersedes the original, because like sometimes we get updates that are parallel. This is an example that's that. It's exactly what it was, but he's got ankle tilts. But this is that figure, but better. Mm-hmm. Like, this is what you wanted to. He's got butterfly joints in his shoulder. You can remove these if you want to. His alt mode looks fantastic. Like, he's got, like, double jointed knees and elbows, a wrist swivel. Just everything you could want in a Voyager class figure. And his alt mode is better than Tarns and Bludgeons, which we have sung the praises of over and over again, because he looks exactly like he does in the show. And I get that he's a nonsense jet, but he turns into that nonsense jet that he is. And I hope we get a dozen redecos of him like we did with the Earthrise and Siege versions of this mold, because I want the Dirge version of this mold. I want the Sunstorm version of this mold. I want them to re-release this version, but bigger with the crown. And instead of having the sword, have the gun flip out. Like, give me all of that. In the fact that you can take the 86 cape and crown and put it on this version if you want to, and that it works, even if not perfectly or intentionally. The fact that it works at all is insane. So just, you know me, you're the Beast Wars guy, I'm the Cybertron guy. It was always gonna be, you know, that's
awesome.
40 years, Transformers, come to this. I think this was a good year overall. And I think next year might look a little bit rocky in some aspects. I think the not the Power of the Primes. What is it called? Age of the Primes. God, we use this. I wish we didn't use the same three names over and over. I can't wait for next year when it's something Cybertron again, or some generic Cybertron name, or Cyberverse or something. But I think that they've put a lot of work into those, and then it has potential. But I think if this was the peak of Transformers toy years, then it was a pretty solid one, and I'm glad that we were here for it.
Yep. Well, cool. Well, we're gonna start wrapping this up. We're gonna end this mainly because we've been going for 3.5 hours. I'm hungry. And my earbud, my other one just died, and this one's on this last leg, so I'm going to lose being able to talk here in a second. So, if for no other reason for those, but yeah, it's been quite a stream, Lee and Kyle.
Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for hanging out here the entire time. We've had a couple other folks pop in for a second, Will, you got anything else?
We got some fun stuff planned for next year. And I know we've both been really busy, and we've had a lot of stuff going on personally that has made things a little difficult. But I just wanted to say that I'm looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to what we can do here on the channel. I'm looking forward to seeing some new Transformers, and just looking forward to hanging out with you and talking about them. So
yeah, likewise. We're getting a little better each time. So or we're trying to, at least. So all right, with that, y'all, I hope y'all have a great upcoming week. And until the next stream, which will be whenever we tell you it is.
Happy New Year. Probably do one sometime in January, hopefully. Whatever the next, I'm hoping we get like back to our normal release schedule, where we do normal like Tuesday live streams where they announce things. I would probably guess their next one probably won't be till February, but there's probably a good chance that the new toy line, the Age of the Primes, that Series 1 will probably start popping up. Pre-orders probably start shipping pretty soon. So probably do a live stream maybe in January or early February, I would guess. In the meantime...
I'm thinking early, sometime in February, because I think I'm going to take take January as a little bit of a break. Mm-hmm. And
that's the best time to do a break, is January for YouTube anyway.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a little break then, and we'll see you guys in the new year.
Oh, I didn't want to throw out one more thing that I got this year that was like my favorite thing that I got, which is this. An Aaron Archer original artwork of scrap metal for Transformers Cybertron. I don't know if you guys follow him on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram or any of those. Definitely follow him. He does. He's a toy designer. He designed a lot of the Cybertron Armada and artwork. He did a lot of like box art and things like that.
He worked on Kenner Batman. He worked on Kenner Aliens. He worked on
all kinds of stuff. Like he's a huge
lots of stuff.
But he does this now. A lot of his artwork, he will take like this is a original instruction booklet, and he'll draw the figure on there. And this is like my favorite thing in my collection now, because it's like it's a one of one. And I also appreciated, I didn't notice this till the other day, but it's got blue over here and yellow over here, because scrap metal came in blue and yellow also, and that's such a tiny little detail that I absolutely love that he included. And this you have your two up there that are signed. This is that for me.
Alrighty. Yeah, I hope you get some of that art one day too.
As I say, he just posted Primal, Optimus Primal. I thought you would enjoy that one a lot. I thought you would.
that looked really cool. I'm still waiting for that perfect one that I want to make mine. So.
Well, I missed my perfect one. He did Classics Hot Rod, and I missed that one. So until he does some more Cybertron ones, then I'll probably get, if he did like Cybertron Hot Shot or something like that, I would instantly pick that. He did I don't know if you saw, he did the box art that's the Energon figures. He did Energon Hot Rod. I was very tempted to get that.
Yeah, I saw those.
But yeah, good year. Hope you all have a happy new year, and we'll see you next year for some more Transformers.